All right, yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's what is it? It's a Geeky Weekly with old friends and random talky stuff. That's it. I'm glad I got it written in the top corner there, because otherwise I've forgotten what we were. But yeah, that's us. It's Talky with the old farts. And yeah, we've got Alan from Comic Collector Geek. I meant to put his blinking description, his link in the description box. I forgot. Oh well, I was being lazy. So how are you fellas? All right? Silver Night Car's asleep, practically.
Run ragged. Lots of stuff going on the last couple of days. So
You've been streaming like it's going out of fashion, ain't you?
Wrapped around a whole bunch of busyness. Had to run around, do a bunch of stuff today. Had to go see my wife's sister and their dog's passing away, and had to deal with some stuff like that and get some groceries in the house. And just walked back in the house like a minute and a half ago. So
busy man.
Well, I'm in the basement now. I'm in the garage now. I'll be up with my books here in a little bit, but I need to decompress. So.
Well, you messaged me about 4 hours ago thinking we was about to start because you got all confused over our clocks going back.
I have not traveled anywhere out of the town I live in, and I genuinely have jet lag. I genuinely have jet lag. I'm doing shows on the west coast of the United States, which are 3 hours, 3 hours behind us. You guys are now 4 hours ahead of me, even though when we catch up to daylight savings time, you'll be back to 5 hours.
Back to normal.
So 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me could be anything from 9 o'clock at night to 1 in the afternoon. So my days are literally 18 hours long.
Yeah, you just need a streaming event in Australia.
Yeah, you got to get on with Simple Simon. That's the way.
And I had to get away from doing that for a while because I was streaming my poetry in Australia and doing a late night next day kind of crossover thing.
Okay.
So,
busy man.
Done that. Don't want to do it again now. I want to be plugged into my buddies in England, New York, Chicago, Montreal. Kind of stay on that timeline.
Right, yeah, more easy timeline. So let's kick off then. I think last time we was chatting, Mark was telling us that he's going to be doing his first con as a seller, and he has already spoken to me about it a bit. So but if you want to share that with the audience,
and before he jumps all the way in, and while we got any crowd, and when anybody rewatches this, Mark is an incredible human being.
Okay.
Let me get that out of the way.
Well, I'm not sure about
that. I already talked stuff about how awesome Graham is.
Oh, gold.
Mark, I'm in one piece today.
Can I just
so frazzled because Mark made me smile this big.
Kyle, can I just remind you that we are English? We don't go for all this like touchy-feely bollocks. Like, it's not us, mate.
Well, I'm not
me and Mark are cringing here. Like, don't go on.
But I'm going to give you guys compliments. I am genuinely going to give you compliments.
Well, okay, that's good. Gray's exactly right. We don't handle
we don't have that, no.
Right.
Like, this is how chaps in England we can do it. We'll be like, I'll be slagging Mark off, in all good friendly fun.
The way we express the fact that we like each other is actually by insulting each other.
Exactly.
So, well, you old sods, you just make my life. Nah, you make me happy, you old bastards.
If you watch the price,
that's more like it. You're getting the idea now.
Yeah. So Alan's got it because on the price bearing show, I quite often take the piss out of Alan. And he's got it. He's worked out. This means I like him. Right.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So I did my first Comic Con as a retailer. The best thing I can say about it is it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
So the first thing that happened, it was a 3-hour drive. So I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, got my son out of bed, drove to Nottingham in the rain and dark. And when we got there, I pre-booked a car park that it said was close to the venue. So it was 5 minutes away. So we parked in this car park. And it was a 20-minute walk uphill.
With comic boxes.
So, So I got, luckily, this is why I'd taken my son and I was paying him. So
he earned his money, I reckon.
He did earn his money. So we got there and it was a 6 foot by 2 table, which was only going to hold a maximum of 4 boxes anyway. So I sent my son back to get the comics. Anyway, we ended up with 4 boxes on there. I had a sort of £1 comics, £2 comics, and I had a box of Marvel UK, and then I had a box of slabs. And I spoke to some of the other. So I walked around and spoke to some of the other guys selling comics, and they said, "Whatever you do, don't do a £1 box and a £2 box. They don't sell." They were right.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And the other thing was they just was it wasn't the right audience. This was it was the same day as the London MCM. So if you're really into comics, you went down to London. So it was sort of like families wandering in. They were not going to go and pay. I had my I took my X-Men up as just as people to look at. That worked. They did look at it, but there was nobody wanting to spend anything more than about 50 quid. I did sell a couple of slabs, one at 50 quid, one at 60 quid, and I sold about £7 comics. The best thing of the day, to be honest with you, was I was offering a free comic to kids under 12 who could read. So the little 7 or 8 year olds with the parents are going, you can have a free comic if you can read the title and tell me what it is. That was the best bit of the day, because the smiles on the kids' faces when they were getting a free comic was the best bit of the day. Did I enjoy it? I actually did enjoy it. I lost about 150 quid on the day.
Wow. That's does that include the petrol?
Yeah, the table cost me 60. My son cost me 80. Petrol was about 30. I sold comics. I probably made about 40 quid profit on. So overall, I was about 150 quid down. So it's a really successful business model working there.
Yeah.
So
now, I have offered to be the hype machine for Mark at the London Mart, since even though I'm all the way here, I'm plugged into people from all ends of that. So
so I am planning to go to the
I reckon you'll have a better day at the London Mart. I was going to say this because it's just comic buyers. People are only there to buy comics. There's no cosplay.
Exactly.
There's no there might be the odd bit. There's some Funko Pop sometimes in the corner, that kind of thing. But literally, it's people just searching for just be doing that all day long. And your pound books and your 50p books will go there as well, because everyone's got them on their tables as well.
Okay. So that's my next one. I'm planning to do the London Comic Mart on the 29th. The tables are cheaper now. The tables were 60 quid as well, which was
Oh, that's really good.
Yep.
The table I was expecting them to be more than that.
Yeah.
I didn't have time beforehand to actually link this into the London Loves Comics group so they could actually be watching this live.
Because I've joined
But
that.
the replay is going in there, and all you guys in that group, Mr. Bishop, Des Skin, all these guys, you hear me now. Buy off this guy. He's amazing. You're gonna get great deals.
Okay.
I'm starting to pitch now, and I'm not kidding. I am going to be a hype man. I am going to validate that you got great books, great prices. Buy this man out so he can buy more. He puts on amazing deals.
Right. Well, I'm just putting all the prices up 10%. Thanks, Carl.
Call me a pessimist, but I doubt if any of them are going to watch this anyway.
Oh, I know they will. I know they will.
You
know, Bishop was here last time, and
one time he was. Yeah.
But I'll get it to him. If I have to, I'll send it to him on direct links and be like, yeah, you will watch this. You will watch part of this. You will familiarize yourself with that man's face, because that is the comic dealer you want to deal with. Every time you go to London Comic Mart. Mark Oldroyd, get to know the name. You buy him out of books that I don't buy from him, because
Suddenly Comics.
I want them all. And if you know my library and you know I want them in my library, you have to have them in your library.
So, I actually sold some comics, or tried to. There's a little church around the corner, like about 15 minutes from my house, so along with a shopping trolley full of comic books. I did as bad as you. I gave mostly away to kids, but at least I didn't lose 100 and really whatever quid. It only cost me 3 quid for the table. So I started small, Mark. That's the thing.
You didn't employ my son for the day.
No, exactly.
And
Well, you
another
did
thing
one
to
that
keep in
you
mind,
sold your
fellas, get to know this
The-
guy in the car because he'll do car boot sales too, and you're
Really?
gonna want to see his car boot sales.
Are you
Don't
doing
miss,
car boot sales, Mark?
don't miss it.
Well, I've got a load of £1. Well, I've got a load
Yeah.
of comics that I bought for. I made a mistake and I bought 2,500 comics at 10p each.
Okay.
Okay.
But they're worth 10p each, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
So
But could you have sold them to the other vendors? Like, would the other vendors maybe have given you like 50 pence or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I've sorted them, you know, and you maybe so I'm going to probably, and they're sitting in my hallway, and my wife's getting annoyed with them.
Yeah. Is that one you made a couple of videos on? Did you make a couple of videos on that one?
No, I haven't done any videos on that.
Is it Marvel and DC, or is it all like weird indie crap?
No, it's all Marvel, and it's mainly modernish Marvel.
Oh, modernish.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so do you hear that, guys? Car boot sale.
Okay.
You get a great deal on some modern books.
Car boot sale in Cambridge on Sunday. You
There
can
you
did?
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
you can pick up comics at 25p each, or a whole box for 60 quid.
Yeah.
There you go. I put my reputation behind this man, and y'all have known my reputation for years. So take that to the bank.
So, yeah,
Okay.
but I've got those. I wouldn't do that again. I'm not buying, because people have already cherry picked these things. You know, for sale for that amount, somebody's been through them and taken out the keys. And,
Yeah.
But
Did
you
ever
still
try
get good
Whatnot or
reading.
something like that?
Sorry.
Would you try Whatnot or some kind of?
Yeah, actually, I am. We have got a version of Whatnot that's appeared in the UK now. It's not Whatnot. It's called VOT. V-O-G. VOT. It's called VOT. V-O-G-G-T.
Didn't he teleport a giant squid creature into New York?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
He was in Doctor Who Series 4,
Oh,
Episode 5.
right.
But he's now started Whatnot. He's now started a type of Whatnot channel in the UK. You know.
Okay.
It's
I've seen you sort of show things that you bought on Whatnot, but I've never looked into it. I've
actually
checked it
stopped
out.
buying US Whatnot now because there's a UK Whatnot, and of course, it's a lot cheaper.
Mhm.
But it's
Sounds more like German. What?
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 So, I'm gonna mute out real quick so I don't make a bunch of noise trudging up to the library. I'll be back,
All right, mate.
Okay. So I'm actually thinking about trying that as well. Yeah, because you could potentially shift some of these £1, £2 comics.
Another trick you can try if you really want to try, like, getting rid of like the crappy stuff, is get one like maybe $10 book, okay, and then bundle with it like 5 crappy books, okay.
Yeah.
And then put it on like eBay for like $20.
Yeah. Well, that's what one of my viewers suggested. When I asked for advice, they said you don't want to try and sell the cheap ones. And what he said is you need to bundle them up.
Yeah.
What I thought about doing was sort of like mystery boxes for sort of 20 quid or 25.
Yeah, that's another way too.
So you're going to get 20 comics for 25 quid. And I'll put a £5 book in there, and then the rest is £1 book. Yeah, Alan, no.
How was your Halloween, Alan? Get up to anything?
Yeah, I did my spectacular show on my channel.
Oh yeah.
I think it ran at the same time as yours, so you siphoned all the traffic away from my channel. So.
Well, there was only 5 in my streams. It couldn't have been me that did that, mate. It couldn't have been me that got rid of your watches.
My peak was 60, so.
Yeah. No, I had 5 at a good part.
Yeah.
What did you do for Halloween, Mark? Did you do anything?
What did I do for Halloween? Wait a minute. I was streaming with somebody.
I
was doing something.
You can't remember.
2 months ago. This is getting bad, isn't it?
It's like 2 days.
Anything significant? I had a show out. Yeah, I don't know. I put together a show. I put together a video, which I put out. I don't know.
I don't remember seeing that.
It
I don't remember seeing that.
It sort of passed me by. I've never done a live stream on my channel. Mine are all pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too. But well, except the special occasions.
Yeah.
But do you guys get many trick-or-treaters or
no? We don't.
Is that more of a American thing?
It's definitely more an American thing, but we have it here. Like, if you ain't decorated your house, then you're not interested. So people only go to the decorated places. People, if you put a pumpkin out, it means you've got some candy for people.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, then they don't have to come to you. And there's probably about two houses in the whole of my street that's got like decorations outside. No, a bit more than that, 5 maybe. But
people do really get into it. Like they do, they actually do like mazes and crazy things in front of their houses.
Dress up and like, I've got a mate, one of the people I follow on the NDT show, and Nathan, and he does loads of Halloween decorations all over the place, like in his place, and he always does like videos of it and that. But
yeah, we've got some friends who go OTT on,
yeah.
I had to spend half my day yesterday taking decorations down with the messes because we had the house just covered.
All right, blimey.
So we had a cauldron this big, deep, just full of candy. I can't even show on camera how big that was. So
and now you've got to start getting the Christmas decorations up, yeah?
Yeah. Me being old Santa Claus.
They look good. I like all the like the Halloween decorations, the Christmas decorations. I couldn't be bothered doing that myself. It's like, no thanks. I love to watch other people look at other people's decorations. If I did, I'd probably make a mess of it. I'd probably fall off the ladder and take myself on some Christmas lights or something. That'd be just like me. So
was almost my day yesterday. I went on Comics Journey's channel right after I got things into the garage. Just about collapsed, big old tubs and cords everywhere. But I was in one piece, and I made it to today in one piece.
Yeah.
My goal is make it to tomorrow in one piece.
Okay.
And keep hyping that mark. And
don't
watch the Gray Man shows, especially Saturday cover Slinger Showdown.
Don't collapse on my show, mate, because it's I don't want to get a reputation of people coming on my show and dropping down dead. So you just stay stay healthy until at least after the show's finished.
I am so cocky about Slingers this week. I only took out 5 books.
Oh,
and I'm gonna win with that.
Oh wow.
I've got my 5th book upstairs. I must remember to dig out my 5th book this week.
What subject is it this week?
Ducks.
Oh wow, ducks. Wow,
that's cool. Duck covers.
Alan would be okay.
So I've got my 5 duck covers because I haven't got. I don't like Howard the Duck. I never was into Howard the Duck, so I don't have Howard the Duck comics.
Any Donald Duck? Donald
Makes
Duck.
me want to tell my old buddy Hackett joke.
I don't know Donald Duck either, but I have got 5. I just got to go out and dig out an old Image comic from one of my boxes upstairs. I hope it's not one of the ones right at the bottom of the blinking 8 deep pile of comic books. That's always a pain when it's that way because I haven't got to just move the 8. I've got to move the 8 that are next to them so I can get to the 8 that are in the long boxes. I hope it's not even one of them.
This is a question for Alan and Kyle. If the subject on cover slingers was skiing, could you immediately think of 5 skiing covers?
So I saw 3 right off the top of my head.
I bet there's a lot of war comics, Mark. There's a lot of war comics.
I actually have like 2 or 3 skiing covers.
Do you?
There was one in Lois Lane, and there was one in like Wonder Woman. There was a few.
What was the Lois Lane one?
You want skiing covers? You want British? Watch how fast.
Wonder Woman, actually.
Sorry, mate.
Maybe I'm thinking Wonder Woman, but
it could be
I know there's one in one of those 2 things where there's a few.
I haven't got all. So I wanted to know so I could look out for it. I like Lois Lane. I've collected her and Jimmy now. I only started I think 2018. I started collecting my birthday books, and I got my first Jimmy and my first Lois at that time, and I just fell in love with the quirky dopiness of them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lois Lane had some really great covers.
The covers are amazing.
And funny stories, just like stupidest stories.
Practically every time I open up my Lois or my Jimmy book, I'll scan through, I'll get them out and I look at them, and they're just, they're just beautiful.
Great.
So great.
I picked up the bought a comic lot the other week, and I got in it, and I didn't realize it was going to be in it. Was the Jimmy Olsen getting married to
I
a
gotta go
female
answer the door.
Oh yeah, that is oh man, that I bought that at
need-
London Comic Mart a few years ago. Literally, I had my last fiver in my pocket, and I was going out, and I saw that. Oh, that. I don't need this fiver. You take my fiver. I'm having this comic book. It's a beauty, that one. It's so hilarious. The other one that I saw that I remember I saw it and I had to buy it then and then, even though it was 15 quid. That's quite high for me because it was in very nice condition. It was an old Superboy book where Lana Lang is the insect queen and she's B-Boy is like, and they got a big hive. You see them, go away, Superboy, or I'll get B-Boy to sting you to death. And it's just such a bonkers cover. It's just, oh man, love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, with those sort of obscure titles, like where they were sort of like B tier stuff, they really went all out. They just would like do whatever crazy idea they had that day, you know.
Yeah. And sometimes I think, I do wonder sometimes, like the covers are so sort of bizarre, and like they have to sort of somehow shoehorn in that into the story. And I sometimes think to myself, I wonder if the artist did the cover first, and as a challenge to the writer, there you go, try and write this one into the story. Then you know what I mean?
I bet you that happened. I bet we're in the office going, okay, try and write a story about this one. Have you seen the one where Lois Lane has got a mannequin?
Superman.
She's wicked.
Yeah.
I got up real quick to grab something, and then the doorbell rang. It was my grandson ringing the doorbell before the kids came in.
Okay.
But it was right there behind me, but I had to fish it out. You said skiing covers?
Yeah.
Yep, you got some skiing covers.
How about November 1941?
Oh, wow.
Hold on, let me put you on bigger screen.
That's interesting.
Is that the one?
Not the right one. Yeah.
No, he does it automatically. He chooses one at random.
November 1941.
The Convict Speedster.
That's really cool.
The parachute. They're not actually landed yet, so they're actually parachuting still.
Yeah.
I know the ones in the background are skiing. The ones in the background I was doing my cover slingers bit there. I was contesting it.
The ones in the background are skiing.
So there's skiing going on with paratrooping.
That's
1941 wartime, and it's a British.
That's a UK comic. Yeah, I see.
UK.
It almost looks like something from an earlier era, like maybe like turn of like First World War, not Second.
Yeah.
I was in the Mega City Comics. No, it wasn't. It was Gosh Comics the other day when I was showing Zars around from Australia, and they had a big packs of like old British comics, like Victor or something like that, and they're only £3. And it was about 10. So I was thinking, I picked it up. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to read them, but it just looks so good and really good condition. And I thought it's just tempting. I went, no, put them down. You're trying not to spend any money. And then I went and spent 50 quid in there, like I didn't want to spend. But there you go. It's because Zars found two Ghost Rider issues that I needed. I had 3 more issues that I need for my Ghost Rider run. He found 2 of them in there. I was like, oh, sod it. It's only money.
Money.
I can always eat some of the cheap doubles that I've got. I don't want to get rid of. You know what I mean? If you just get the right amount of herbs and spices in the they taste all right. They're fine. Try not to eat too many staples though, because you don't want too much of that in your diet. You know.
Well,
is it me or did we rotate? But
yeah, because when you went back, it's disturbing me not being on the top left-hand corner. So I've got to go back up to my position. The top left corner is the kingly position of the stream, as everyone knows.
I thought I went cockeyed there for a minute.
Yeah. Anyone bought any new comics this week? Let's talk more comics.
I always buy a bunch. So
yeah, I know you've been doing your latest, craziest ever purchase.
Yeah, like, you know what's funny? Like that's like my previous unboxing. I called it my largest unboxing.
I thought it was all crazy. Sorry, I thought it was every single one was progressively more crazy
than the previous one. And then I have a bunch of books at Stackery, which is actually going to be bigger than the one that I'm currently doing. You're
going to run out of adjectives. You keep this up, mate. You're going to have to start inventing your own adjectives.
What's better? Grandest. How about that? Maybe
most stupendous,
most biggest.
Yeah. Gargantuanist.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But I'll show you some of the stuff that was actually in the current unboxing. That's kind of cool.
Okay, dokie. Let's put you on the big screen.
So one of the ones that I thought was really, really great was this.
Okay.
Beetle Bailey. It's like 4-color comics, $4.69, I believe.
Okay.
Can't really read the number that well.
I had one of them the other day. I sold one of them on eBay. I had a Beetle Bailey, an old Charlton one.
Well, this is his first appearance.
Oh,
Wow.
right. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of cool? I picked it up really cheaply, so I was waiting. Why not?
It's not really a character we really see over here, is he, Mark? Do you remember ever seeing Beetle Bailey? Really?
Yeah, I have actually seen a few.
I've heard of him, but
I knew about him, and I used to see him a bit, and I definitely familiar with that. I've read a few Beetle Bailey comics as well.
I know I've seen him. Didn't he have like one page in like the occasional like an ad, almost like an ad page, just one, but like the same like Jerry the Jitterbug used to have a little like thing.
I think so.
I think Beetle Bailey used to do that as well.
We would always get them in the Sunny Fundies. You know, like when you get like your newspaper on the Sunday, it would be the color section. It would be like we'd have Beetle Bailey in there. I wasn't a big fan of Beetle Bailey, but it was okay. You know, it was like.
Why is he called Beetle?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's a good question.
I wonder if it was like an army term or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it is. But that's his name, Beetle Bailey. Maybe it's because of the way the hat looks. You know, the helmet.
Maybe. Isn't there? Isn't he got like sergeant something or other, like a
sergeant? What's his? I forget the name of the
Sad Sack or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, Sad Sack is the other one.
Character.
Yeah, it's a different character.
Right.
But there is a sergeant in this one that's always like, you know, he's always a bit of a goof, right? And then
I've literally only seen him in passing, never actually read them, you know.
Yeah.
Well, while I was up flipping through things and I didn't want to yell across the room to chime in, rumor has it that Beetle Bailey's named after General Beetle Smith.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
One of Patton's side guys who ended up being ranked above him, but it was an homage to General Beetle Smith.
Okay.
So I got basically a Beetle Bailey collection.
Right.
And then Sad Sack started in Yank. Fighting
Yank.
So I got one of those back there too, but I'm not fishing.
How do you choose your comics that you're going to buy? You're trying to get like, you know, many keys, or is it like characters keys. You love, or?
I like keys of characters that are kind of like I'm either nostalgic for or that I just like, you know. So this one,
you about to say you're nostalgic for Pinocchio?
Yeah, I am actually. I really like.
You have the first Pinocchio in comics?
Yeah, I do, and this is his first cover.
Okay.
I think it's either his first cover or Jimmy Cricket's first cover.
Might be Cricket.
Might be Cricket. Because I actually in the box over there I have.
What number is that? Pinocchio number?
This is 4-color number 92. So it's early 4-color. This would be like from the maybe like 42, 43. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But I think it's like either Pinocchio's first appearance on like first cover appearance or Jimmy Cricket's first cover appearance.
I'm trying to look up on linking on a website.
Yeah, look it up. Like 4-color 92.
Is it Kal-El?
I'll pull it out for you here in a second.
Yeah, I have his first appearance as well in comics. That's his first cover appearance.
This is his
this
first.
Must be Jimmy Cricket's first cover appearance. I knew it's a first appearance of something or other.
This is 1939.
Oh, so maybe the difference is this, Kyle. That is
that's issue 1 in the 4-color series. But
but that's a magazine, and this is a comic. I think that's where they make the weird distinction. Because I also have like the first cover appearance of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. But it's a magazine, so it doesn't count, even though it's their first cover. And then they have like another first appearance on cover in Disney Comics and Stories number 5, I believe.
It doesn't say in on the Lone Star Comics. Doesn't say what if it was first
I always use
or
Key
first
Collector
cover
or something like that if you want to check it.
Yeah. Pinocchio appeared on the last page of Mickey Mouse, Volume 5, number 2. And then he first appeared here. This is the first official appearance of Jiminy Cricket and Pinocchio. And it came out 2 months before the movie actually released.
Yeah. So I think that Kyle, because it's not a comic, it doesn't account.
Yeah, magazines and comics the differentiate.
Well,
between them,
technically,
don't
this is what became 4-color comics. This is or not 4-color. Walt Disney Comics.
It became Walt Disney's Comics and
Comics
Stories.
and
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this in 1941, this rolled into Walt Disney Comics and Stories. So now, granted, Mickey Mouse magazine before this, and like the 1933 issues, were the smaller ones.
Yeah. So actually, I actually should show you something. This is really cool. I just got this in the mail today. Okay, it's like the Heritage Auctions, and I'm going to bid on this, but I'm probably not going to win. But where is it? Let's see if I can find it. It's really cool. It's a really cool item. So in fact, here, if I can find it. Oh yeah, here they have the first Beano.
Oh right, yeah, that's great. Yeah, Ego the ostrich. That's always a good trivia question. They ask who appeared on the first issue of the Beano. Virtually nobody knows it's Ego the ostrich. They all go for Dennis the Menace.
Yeah,
or
he's the
Desperate Dan, or
Oh, here it is.
Desperate Dan was the dandy. That would be a silly answer.
Yeah. You know that.
Wait. Let me see if I can zoom in here.
Oh.
That's the very first Mickey Mouse, and it's the first Mickey Mouse magazine.
Hey, Mark, can I show him? Can I show it, Mark?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second.
Don't let Alan try and buy it.
He can't. It's yours. It's yours. All right. Well, that's issue 1.
Was this something you're trading, mate?
We're trading, yeah.
Yeah.
This belongs to Mark. Now that you just showed issue 1, there's issue 2.
So somebody just had that on a claim sale on Instagram, but it was a coverless copy that they had.
This is a ridiculously high grade copy.
Okay.
But it's now Mark's, so I'm only showing it off because I haven't seen it.
That's really cool. So what are you trading for it, Mark? Like a car?
A lot. we've got a multifaceted trade going on.
Are you going to give him all your dollar bin books? Like your
No.
Yeah. Or your 25-cent comic books, 25 pence books.
I'd have to hire some sort of special container ship.
Yeah. To make it up.
Montreal Johnny may pop in, but here's issue number 4 of that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's quite nice as well.
That's going to Montreal, but this one's got boxing and stuff around it, so it's in about half the shape of the other one.
What kind of value do these get given? Like, well, how much do these go for when they are available? Are they like?
It depends on condition.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like how much? Like, can we ask how much you're selling that one for?
So I'm trading. I've put a value of 500 on it for trading, and which Kyle has accepted.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So you did a bit of research on it to find some more.
Yeah,
available.
It is actually on Go Collect, and the last one sold for $350 in December last. There's only 5 graded copies.
Yeah.
And a 4.0 sold for $350 in December last year. But
that one looks in higher.
Yeah, but this is Kyle's looks better than that.
So you gave him a little bit better price. Yeah. That's
interesting.
Nice.
Right, one I was trying to
surprising how cheap they are if you think about it.
I think that's amazing. From 1933,
yeah.
I think it's
big. Porky Pig.
Oh, nice.
I bought a batch of comics, like random comics, and he threw like some in. So that I'm trying to sell them on eBay. These ones, but at the moment, I try and sell stuff on eBay. They don't sell, and I go, "Sod it, I'll keep them." So this might end up on the "Sod it, I'll keep them" pile pretty soon because no one seems to want to buy them.
You know what's funny? those books, so they are super cool. They're usually like $5 or
they're not expensive. Nah, don't go for much. This one is weird. This is one I've never even heard of. I don't know if any of you yet. But Kal-El probably know this character if anybody knows them. I think it was a TV show. Let me put myself on a slightly bigger screen this time. So Margie,
My Little Margie, yeah.
Never heard of her.
Surprisingly, no takes on this one.
Yeah,
you would have heard of this one though, Mark. You would have heard of this one.
Oh, Mr. Ed.
It's
That's
great.
cool.
He has a talking board.
What
Mr.
number
Ed.
of Mr. Ed is that?
It's it's a gold key, so I've got no idea what the number is. It's 100 18 402.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's probably like a later, much later issue of them.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
1963 on
gold.
the.
That's a gold key reprint of the
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
series.
The original series was Dell.
Right, yeah, 1964 it says on the inside anyway.
Yeah.
All right, but those are the type of things I love if they turn up in an auction. I wasn't expecting them, because I just love that type of stuff.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. So, hey, well, we're all on here together, Mark. And since Alan said he has one, there's the first appearance of Pinocchio, 1939.
This is the reprise of Jimmy Olsen, I think. And
yeah, I think so.
and the female King Kong. There you go. There's another Tom and Jerry.
Oh, nice.
All right, you want to show us your book you were just showing?
Oh, I was just goofing off with that first.
Yeah,
Pinocchio.
actually, if you're ever interested in selling that, I'd be interested in that book.
The one defect to it,
comic
and it's a
book.
printing defect, is that's on the cover, but the cover's intact. There's an extra paper stuck here. But, and are you ready for this? I'll take it right out and show it off directly.
I'm eating Kraft dinner here too.
I got to make the tape disappear on this though, because
Yeah, don't do
no
nothing
tape
rushed,
touches
mate.
my
Don't do nothing
1939
rushed, and then
Yeah, no,
you know, don't do a
tape.
grey man. Basically, don't do a grey man.
Yeah, that's where you
Yeah, no tape pull.
pull.
Yeah,
yeah, that is kind of open split, but the spine is fully intact.
Nice.
December of 1939. The first appearance of Jiminy Cricket is right here on the interior cover.
Okay.
Nice.
Is he Jimmy or Jiminy Cricket?
Jiminy.
Jiminy.
Okay.
Little Technicolor. Donald and the
Oh,
Penguin.
nice back cover as well. Nice back cover.
So, not all the puzzles aren't written in or anything, which bumps up the grade even more.
So, would you be interested in selling that?
Sure.
The only other one I've got is this Dennis the Menace. That's the other one.
Definitely hit me up. I'll probably buy that from you.
If you are interested, I can bust out old Mickey Mouse. I've got several old Mickey Mouse magazines. Like I said, now the premiums are all gone. The one is promised to Johnny in a trade up to Montreal, and the other one just belongs to Mark. I just haven't shipped it yet. So that's why I asked him, since I haven't sealed the box. I finally figured out what I'm going to do. I'm sending this full tub. Since things fit in that tub, I'm just going to bubble wrap everything in the tub and then take it and have it put into a box for that and shipped over.
Before you do that, check your email, because I sent you another email.
Did it throw you in my junk again?
I only sent it just before the show, Carl. So you've just got back from.
We don't want to hear about your junk, thank you very much, Carl.
Yeah,
keep it to yourself, mate.
Hear about my junk. But
It's not one of these. It's not a kind of stream.
I am going to disappear for a second so I can get something done, and maybe in the middle of that I may peek at that. But I'll be back in just a second.
I'm going to show you some stuff. I'm going up to a comic convention in a couple of weeks, which I think is one of the best comic focused ones in the world. Thought Bubble.
How often do they have them then?
Once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year.
Going to sign like 1 billion copies of like.
Has it really been a whole year since the last one?
Yeah, it has been a whole year since the last one. We've all got.
Does it feel like a couple of months ago that people were talking about it?
No. So, and it's getting even better in terms of the people that are turning up. So this year we've got Scott Snyder turning up. We've got James Tinian's coming again. We've got Ram V. We've got Carla Cohen. We've got Lucio, whatever, Perillo. We've got the guy, what's he called? David Ao, who did all the Hawkman artwork. It's really good.
Okay.
So it's just I've already got a complete box full of stuff signing,
Ready to sign.
So I thought I'd just share, and also I'm taking blank covers so I can get some sketches.
Right.
So I thought I'd just show some of the comics.
And do they have like a CGC person there that'll do like the verified signatures and stuff like that?
Yeah, they do. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, of course.
So if you take, so for instance, James Tinian, who last year just had a desk by himself and was signing 10 comics free. Now he's with Scott's Collectibles, who are hosting it. So he'll still do 3 signatures free. Then it's $9 for each one after that. And you can pay Scott to do the CGC approved signature thing. And they'll then take it and send it off to CGC.
Is it $9 or £9?
£9.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not bad. £9 is like pretty reasonable, I'd say, for a signature.
Yeah.
Compared to some who like charge 50 or 40 or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's far cheaper than what they
Yeah.
And they'll do 3 free, and maybe if you queue up again, you'll get another 3 free.
Yeah.
So one of the guys that's going is Giuseppe Ortega. I think it's Giuseppe, something like that. And he did some of my favorite Moon Knight covers. So he did this these Moon Knights here.
Make them big.
You make me big?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know these ones here, this series. This is the one I've got a T-shirt of. This is a copy.
Yeah. So he did that cover?
Yeah, Ortega. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I really like those ones.
I'm going to get that signed. He did this
Hey,
whole
T-shirt
series. He did all this series of Moon Knight covers. So I love these. They're great covers. So he's there. So I'm going to get those signed up. My favorite artist, Carla Cohen's there, but unfortunately she's with Scott's Collectibles. So if I take all my covers, it's going to cost me a lot of money.
Right.
But so Alan's familiar with these.
Yeah,
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, this is
supposed to be
Snow White.
Snow White.
This appeared on Key Collector today.
Okay.
Oh, really? Yeah, probably because there is the signing, it's going to go up.
Yeah. Another Carla Cohen.
That's the Vampirella one, isn't it?
That's the Vampirella one.
Where did I see you showing that the other day? Was you showing it and you were saying to someone?
Channel, wasn't it?
I showed it on Friday.
That's the Halloween.
Yeah, our Halloween show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's quite an interesting Power Rangers one she did.
Okay.
Pretty great.
And then we've got the guy who did all the sort of fairly iconic artwork on Hawkeye. David Io is going to be there. So that's
nice. That's the Pizza Dog one.
That's the Pizza Dog one. Yeah.
Pizza Dog was that?
Pizza Dog. Yeah.
It's like a solo story for Pizza Dog.
Okay, is that an actual character now in
Marvel
Comics?
It's what's her called? Kate Bishop's dog.
Okay.
A sort of stray that she rescues, and he likes pizza.
And he was in the TV series as well.
Oh yeah, I've not had a chance to watch that. It's not come onto a channel that I've got.
Really worth watching.
Yeah.
Another classic. This is one of these lenticulars.
Who can stay blinking up to date with all the bloody TV shows now? I mean, bloody hell, I don't care that there's loads of them. They can make as many as they like. Just I wish they would be on channels that I can watch every now and again.
And there's another David Io one there. Series called
Karnak.
Yeah. So I've got about a complete bloody box of. I haven't finished yet because Scott Snyder's going, and I've got loads of New 52, Batman New 52. Court of Owls stuff. I
didn't enjoy the Court of Owls when it came out, to be honest. I didn't think it was a great story. I wasn't.
Did you not?
No, I didn't grab me at all. But that was kind of around about the time, not too far off the time when I stopped collecting. So that might have had something to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's possible. I just thought he was like, oh, same old, really. And I didn't, yeah. Oh well.
I think they're going to use Court of Owls in the next Batman movie, isn't it?
Are they?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I heard.
The big plan for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Alan, we need to get on like a video call, and I'll go through comics, and you can just say, all right, I want that, I want that, I want that.
Sure.
But no matter what I trade, no matter what I
you know
sell,
I buy a lot of stuff. So
yeah, no matter what I trade, no matter what I sell, until someone says otherwise, though, Mark gets first dibs.
Uh-oh.
So, and I did
Well,
get
I
a
have to
chance
kill
to
off
pick up that
Mark now.
email while I was running around checking with my head cut off. So after we're done, I'll follow up with you on that message there, Mark.
Kyle,
Because it keeps throwing you in junk, even though I've starred you, I've VIP'd you the whole bit, still throws you in junk on my mail.
Kyle, what could I trade you for this Superman hat?
Nothing.
It's got a bubble. It's got a
You're going to make that an A-okay? You're going to send me a Superman
No,
suit?
A-okay. What are we talking about? This is a beauty. This has got to be worth a golden age something or other, surely.
Golden Age Grill?
Yeah, a golden age grail, at least, at the very least. Well said, Alan. Well said.
Cinderella. Let's see. I have the first Cinderella comic.
No,
too.
you're right, mate.
When I go back,
He's not my thing.
He's not going to trade for the first Cinderella. His Superman hat's worth more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Well said.
But anybody who is looking for the first Cinderella, the full linen book that actually came out a month before the movie, I've got that, and I've got a set of small lobby handout cards for the famous Dutch Theater when it first got released. I've got a set of 8 mint cards to go with it. I got a Cinderella killer deal to trade off.
This is a fellow who knows good hats when he sees them. Alex Big Blue. He's a hat aficionado. Old Alex from Kentucky. They're all about hats and the best.
So here we are. We've been showing some amazing comics, and the first thing that gets comics is
exactly. See, the comic community are tired of all this old hat comics, and they want to see a new hat. That's what they're
Does CGC slab those hats or not?
I don't bother with slabs, mate. It's not my thing.
I think they probably would if you pay them enough money. That's
exactly. You get a 10-0.
They'd slab anything if you pay them enough, I'm sure.
So
I'll wait for the first slab funeral.
Hey, Alan, what's the oldest comic ephemera that you have?
It's actually one that Mark gave me. It's like that magazine that you gave me, Mark.
Yeah.
That was the oldest. It's like
I think it's called the Gem or the Magnet. It was either the Gem
it's
or
the Magnet.
It's the Magnet. It's a British comic, and I think I sent Alan a copy from 1912, 19.
Something like that. He was like into that era. Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for older, I go back to the mid 1860s.
Yeah, he's got some really old stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's got cave paintings. He has. That's how far back he goes in his comic collection.
And if you're ever looking for the first brownies, I'm one of like 8 people on the planet that has it.
So first brownies?
You've probably never heard of it. Most people haven't.
Cox's brownies.
First brownies.
If you want to know who they are, just look up brownies. Look up 4-color brownies, and you'll see like the Walt Kelly issues that they put out like 60 years later.
Oh, okay.
Or honestly, if we go back upstairs and I can move things around again, if the kids are staying downstairs, maybe I could pull it out and give you a quick history lesson on them. But they're the first licensed and franchised big comic related thing. Like I've got an 1896 comic size format issue that they put out, where Buster Brown and stuff did that in like 1905. The Brownies beat him by 30 years.
That's
So
cool.
it's like your collection is like more of like a rotating thing now. You're doing so many trades, looking to do so many trades. It's like you just like you're refreshing it by trading things out and getting things in.
Fluid. It's fluid. I mean, I am the go-to guy to know about the history of the Brownies, but I just as soon, like with the C3, I actually traded off one of my Brownies. I actually sold off. I got an 1861 Punch and 1888 St. Nicholas with Brownies.
I know the Punch comics, the ones from the 1800s.
Political
yeah,
satire kind of
And that
books, aren't
goes
they?
back to 1841 and Punch, which is Punch and Judy to the internet.
Yeah.
Punch in 1841 actually coined the term comic, and that's where we got comic associated with the comic book. Which
I didn't know that.
book.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Punch is the one that coined it. The word balloon comic.
Yeah.
Punch in 1841 coined that.
Have you got the first appearance of the word comic in a comic book then?
No, I've seen it, but like I think 2 people on the planet have that, and one's a file copy.
Okay, so those Punch are really hugely undervalued. I bought a hugely. I went into a secondhand bookshop earlier this year, and
I'm guessing that's who I get my Punch.
They used to do an anthology, so every year they would produce a book which had all the they produced that year. It's
6-month rotations. It's actually mid-year.
They
can't do an annual because it'd be this thick.
Yeah,
My bound volume from the end of 1883 or the end of 1882 to the beginning of 1883 actually has the first 2 Brownies appearances in it.
Okay. So
and there are very few of those, but you want those. And if you want to know which issues or which bound ones to buy, give me a call. I'll give you
a 1915 one.
Oh, that's new stuff.
This could be a new feature on the show where you dig out one of your old punches and we can see what was happening this time 150 years ago.
Yeah, and there's some cartoons. Exactly. They are like historical documents.
They are.
They literally are.
They're ridiculously.
And there's my dealer out of London right now is the great granddaughter of the former editor at the Fleet Street offices.
Oh, wow.
I've been getting file copies. I have an 1858 file copy of a Punch, which is an 8-page fold out. That's uncut. It's the file copy and it's uncut.
Wow. Nice.
So,
okay.
Dogs out.
Got a question from Noreen about your oldies comic book. I'm sure you've shown it before.
I'm gonna find it right now, actually.
No, you're looking for it.
Right. While you're doing that, I'm going to show you one. Kyle showed one of the comics I'm trading for. I'm going to show him one of that I'm giving him, and I think this is really quite rare. This is a Marvel UK from 1982. The Incredible Hulk, but it comes with a Brian Boland poster and wait for it, the free gift, which is a sort of
it's the Iron Man, isn't it?
So I think you pin those 2 together and then you can wheel Hulk along.
Like he's running really fast or something. If Hulk was the Flash.
And this is of the Marvel UK stuff I'm sending to. I think this is the rarest. And there's also the person who's selling this has actually taken a picture of the Hulk out of some magazine of the time, and that's in there as well. On the back, we've got sort of.
I see, like an old Looking or something like that, probably.
Yeah. Amazing. And there's none. There's on the UK eBay. There's one of those, but it doesn't have the poster and it doesn't have the free gift.
Okay. When was the Hulk TV show in the UK shown in the UK?
That's when this came out.
Yeah,
so that was 1970,
right?
The Lou Ferrigno.
1978 is when it came out in the States.
I think it was later in the UK. I think this coincided with the
TV quite possibly, around that time, definitely.
Yeah.
It has a free thing inside, though.
It does.
Has anyone else found anything interesting inside a comic book that wasn't meant to be there? I can't think of anything that I've found, but you do hear sometimes of like people finding odd things inside comic books.
I found things inside of books and comics that you would never believe. Untouched for over 100 years, I opened up a book, and there's an advertisement for a Balzac reading.
All right.
And it was inside.
Sounds rude that it was meant.
Yeah, and it's inside this book, and you feel it. It feels and looks utterly brand new, and it's 140 years old.
I've got something that might be interesting for collectors. What it is, my partner, she does some cleaning for a fellow who's in his 90s, and I'm trying to sell some stuff for him on eBay, and he's given me a business card of I can't remember his first name now. The guy who made the Eiffel Tower, something Eiffel, the bloke who was the engineer of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's George. I don't think it was George. It's
Was
something
it
like that.
Henry Eiffel?
No, it wasn't. Some French name, like Gaston or something like that. I can't remember now.
George,
I don't think it's George, but he might be. Maybe it was. I don't know. Herbert. No, I can't remember now. But anyway, so and it's like it's got a handwritten message on it, like congratulations on the birth of your child, kind of thing. So I think he must have put it on some flowers that he sent to someone. It's all in French. It's like
very cool.
Salut. I don't know. Yeah,
hey, you want to get rid of that? You know where to look?
I'm trying to sell it for this old fella, and
Gustav Eiffel.
Gustav, that's it. Gustav Eiffel. Yeah.
Gustav. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have remembered that. I'm bloody selling it on eBay. I couldn't even bloody remember. But yeah, that's my brain. And I should have a picture of it somewhere. Let me see if I can share the picture. I'll have a look for it. Talk amongst yourself, fellas. Talk amongst yourself. I'll find.
So I tried to find my oldest comic. I guess it's in a different box. It was not in the box I was looking for. So
well, if you're looking for older and we like have a video chat, I can take you back to the I don't know, 1850s.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
But again, it's comic related because it gets smaller and smaller. Because it started out, the comic book was literally books where they'd transfer Sunday funnies into, and then they looked for ways to, by 1934, the Gaines experiment, which went to the Go Funny weeklies and stuff. But you want a trip through history pre-1934, I'll give it to you.
Like the Victorian age stuff, and then the Platinum age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like 6 people in the world own an Obadiah Oldbuck, and that's all great. And sure, that's the first one, and Toppler's the first with that. But the first breakout characters that actually substantially did something that carried on to the point that 60 years after they were, or 70, well, 1940s, 1870, 70 years after their inception, they were still a big sell in 4-color comics, and they had a run. Like 244 is the first appearance, then they appeared through the 600s, and they were still a big seller because the Brownies influenced the Little Rascals. They based the Little Rascals off the imps that the Brownies were, which then spawned all the other things like the Peanuts, and then spawned South Park. And the Brownies are the basis. The Brownies are the cornerstone of that in modern American comics.
Yeah, I collect like Snoopy and all that kind of stuff. Like I have a pretty good collection of like Peanuts related comics.
Yeah.
But
lots of Tip Tops.
Yeah, Tip Tops. I have a bunch of Tip Tops, Toppler, Ritz Fritz, and all those, or Fritz or whatever it is. Yeah. So I like those kind of things.
So whatever Mark doesn't lay claims to, you can have dibs on. So.
Mark, I heard some really bad news about Mark recently. He suffered a very, very tragic accident after doing a live stream. It was very sad.
You might want to try it when he's not actually on screen at the same time.
Alan's
be very unobservant not to notice him there.
Yeah, Alan's pocket is bigger than mine, so I'm glad I got in first.
Can we also show some more comic books then? Everyone's got some more comics they want to show.
I got a bunch. I brought a bunch. Just
we might as well look at some comics. We can chat around the comics that are being shown then, can't we? Let's go.
I know you like slabs, so I brought you a slab, Gray.
I don't care. They don't, not for me.
This is actually a cool one. Like just in general. Like actually, I'll take it out of plastic.
Romance.
Give it more obvious. So this is a Matt Baker cover. This is Pictorial Romances. But the cool thing about it is, if I can show it, one sec here. Do you see? I don't know. Does that work? Can you see the Matt Baker?
Oh, is that? Oh, right. Yeah.
So very few times do you see his name actually associated to his art on the cover.
Right.
So this is kind of a cool book for that. So it's Pictorial Romances #9. Kind of a cool book. And actually, even though he did most of the covers for the series, not many have his signature on them for some reason. And then I showed this one in one of our contests together. I don't know. It was just mixed in. I don't know
yeah.
why.
Was it the
It
car
was just
show?
mixed
Wasn't it?
in. It was just mixed in.
What
And
issue of
that was a
Batman
cool-
was that?
That was Batman number. What's number is this? 92.
90.
It's the
Oh,
first Bat-Hound. First Bat-Hound.
poor Mark just absconded away my Batman 15.
Yeah, and then this is a really cool one. This
You
is
ain't got it
Rogue.
yet.
I love this one.
Nice. I haven't seen that before.
Rogue.
This is like a men's
Rogue
magazine.
for men.
Yeah, but it has
Does
that.
it have some
wolf-
scantily clad ladies on like page 3 or something?
Yeah. It's actually Marilyn Monroe.
Ah,
So
okay.
kind of cool, and it's the wolf character.
Big bad.
He was the mascot for the magazine.
Right. That's like the
So-
wolf that was whistling at
Yeah.
Betty
the one.
Boop. Was it Betty Boop, whatever her name is, in one of the cartoons?
Yeah. That's the thing. And then I got my Addams Family. This is the first appearance of the Addams Family.
That looks more like the blinking gruesome twosome from the Wacky Races.
does, yeah,
They've stolen his. They've
It
stolen their
looks
car.
very similar to that, doesn't
Yeah,
it? It's really
yeah.
funny.
Don't look behind me. Somebody made an appearance for a second.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, so like a lot of these, it looks like the Wacky Races a lot with the kind of the weird car style. And then I showed this one before, but I'm not sure if you've seen it.
That's
This is
Detective 1000.
This is the Detective 1000, but it's the Alex Ross cover.
Right.
I think it's
An
one of
old
his best covers.
style.
Homage to the original.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice though. This is a pretty pricey book nowadays. And then I got some really kind of some cool Flash, Silver Age Flash. So I forgot what this is. I think this is like the second appearance of or something like that. Something like that.
Might be first Captain Cold, maybe.
No, it's not the first Captain Cold. That was in an earlier issue. But I think maybe this is his first cover or something like that. It's like in his first appearance, it's just his hand that you see. But
that's in like the late 140s, early 150s. What issue?
This is issue 129.
Yeah, that's probably
And
the
his first appearance is in Showcase. Showcase.
That's probably the first Trickster.
Yeah, it's like in this. Yeah, I forgot what it is. I should really know. And then this is just one.
You got too many to remember them all, mate. That's the trouble.
Yeah, I gotta remember all the key.
Yeah.
But I like having the key significant ones. And then this is just a funny one. Somebody showed this one. I was like, oh, that's really, really funny. It's like Batman and Robin are fighting over a girl. I just think it's kind of funny. So, and this is a first cover appearance of what's her name? Sharon Carter? Yeah.
That's when she's old.
I think she's just beaten up. I don't know.
No, is that not her after the war? Because she didn't come through the war, did she?
Yeah,
or she didn't get frozen in ice. So I thought she was old by the time Cap saw her.
Now Sharon Carter's the younger one they reintroduced in the '60s in Tales of Suspense, and she did.
Oh, so she's actually old here. That's why she looks so bad.
Yeah, there was an old one, wasn't there?
There was an actual Peggy Carter, which they kind of overlap.
Yeah,
explain it, but
I had the first Peggy as well.
I think didn't he hook up with her younger sister at some point or something? I don't remember.
That's one of my favorite comics ever produced, right there.
Yeah, this is just a cool crossover between Silver Surfer and the Hulk. These are kind of popular right now, right? These kind of
that story is
battles.
So good, so good.
I'll have to read it. I haven't had a chance to read half.
How many comics do you? How often do you read your comics?
I read them all online. So what I'll do is I'll binge read. So I'll read like an entire series, like Fantastic Four. I read 1 through 20. Like in one sitting, kind of thing.
Yeah, that Hulk 250 Surfer still hasn't broke out of the barrier yet, and it's the whole basis of that was breaking Galactus's barrier, and it's regular Sal Buscema art, which is good but not great. But the story of that thing is it's a tearjerker. It's in my top 5 stories.
Which issue is that, Alan? I haven't got that one. To show that one
Which
again.
one?
That
This
one,
one?
yeah. The Incredible Hulk
This
one.
is 250.
50.
Okay, I'll have to look out for that. I like
It's
the
a really
cover.
nice. It's one of those ones. I think it's actually after I picked it up, I was like sort of picking up all these kind of crossover ones. It went on some hot list afterwards, so I was like, oh, that's cool.
And it's a self-contained story. You don't need the issue before or the issue after.
Yeah.
It's a double-sized book.
It's on my wants list already.
So good. It is just
it's a cool
good.
cover. And this one is the first cover for the leader.
Leader, yeah.
His big head right there.
I've got
So that'd be 63 because
64.
or 64.
I've got a whole 200 to 450 on my wants list. There's probably at least 100 that I still need, probably more.
And I don't know if there's any key significance to this, but it's like the bat creature.
Yeah, I've had that one. Yeah.
Bat creature.
Bat balloon.
I just picked this up so cheaply. I was like, why not? It looks kind of quirky. I thought it was funny.
Define
Definitely.
cheaply.
I think I paid $5-10 for it.
Oh
Okay,
man,
that is definitely cheaply. Okay.
Yeah.
pay $5-10 for that all day long.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it was.
If
was
that's all
actually
the way
bundled with
complete,
other
even if
books.
it's hanging on the staples, that's a steal and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in good. It's actually not that bad. It's got a bit of a spine roll, but not much. I thought it was kind of cool. And
I think
then,
there's wrong with comics that old that don't have a spine roll.
and then some that I paid a lot for, but I think they kind of went up and then they came back down. These ones are really, really
Okay.
nice.
Those are new, aren't they?
These are brand new. So
Yeah,
when
certainly
you
look
see the price up here, like I didn't pay $80. That's Canadian. I
Yeah,
paid,
still.
I get 20% off from my.
They need to move that decimal point like at least one place over.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
$8. Oh yeah, okay, $8. Yeah, okay then.
It's like
But-
a 1 in 50, I believe.
Nah, I don't care. I don't care about
Yeah,
any
I
of these
know,
variants.
It's kind of whatever, right?
Yeah,
But
I don't
it's
know.
a really great. I just really like the cover.
I can't.
And so that's like about 40 bucks. that I paid.
literally until I started doing YouTube, I didn't even know they
Years
did different variants on covers. I just got whatever comic book they put in my pile. Like I didn't even know there was an A and a B and whatever. Literally.
I mean, those have gone a bit loopy.
This one went really crazy for a while. It's come back down. I think it was up to like 300 US at one point. And then
I
which
can't
doesn't make
understand.
sense to me. Like it's a
No.
brand new book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 1 in 100, but it's a really cool cover. Actually, I really like it, to tell you the truth. But I paid 80 for it Canadian, which is about $50 US.
I mean, I can understand like if it won't come something like that comes out and there's a lot of demand for it and it like organically becomes very popular with the people and everyone wants to get a copy and it's got some value. Like that Jock cover of Batman with the bats coming out of his head. That's for some reason loads of money. I mean, I mean, if I hadn't known it already, I certainly wouldn't go out and buy it. But but one that's just like literally just come out like 2 months ago or something, and suddenly it's commanding those prices. It's just silly. It's just like. It's the old adage of the fool and their money. No offense, but easily parted. You know.
Yeah, it's funny that Jock cover.
Yeah. When somebody says no offense, Alan, that just means they're going to offend you.
Yeah,
I'm getting that comic. Like it's stuck right now in customs in Canada, so it's like I'm just waiting for it to come.
Oh right, you're waiting for it.
Been
Yeah.
at customs for like a week now.
Yeah.
I'm just like waiting for
man.
it. So what happened was I bought like about $7,000, almost $8,000 worth of comics.
Okay.
And I got it from my comic shop, but I couldn't, I basically paid installments for like 6-7 months.
What comics that so you're talking about now? Not
I bought like this big box of comics, like from my comic
right, yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
And I was paying installments. And then at the end, they shipped it out. And that box with all these amazing comics in it is stuck at customs right now. So it's like, it's just like, I don't know when it's going to come. Like, it's like, and I'm really scared because.
Why is it such a big pain in the butt going from America to Canada? You wouldn't think it'd be that.
You think, it's brutal. It's, it's almost as expensive. It's actually more expensive to ship from US to Canada than it is to ship from Canada to UK or UK to Canada.
Maybe they think there might be an American in there trying to get free access to your country for your health service and that. Maybe they think they're trying to sneak in, you know? Yeah, it's possible.
I get a few American refugees inside.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite story about the American-Canadian border. Okay, so there was this guy, and he was known to be a bit dodgy, and the border police were watching for him. Anyway, he lived in Canada. He had a job just on the other side of the border in America.
Mm-hmm.
He used to have to cycle twice a day across from Canada to America. And every time he came across, they'd stop him and they'd search him and they couldn't find anything. So every day he was cycling to and from.
I heard the story.
Yeah. And they couldn't find anything on him. What he was smuggling was bicycles.
Yeah, I had a feeling there was coming to that.
Yeah.
So he'd cycling a brand new one and try to collect with a crappy old one. Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay, a couple more thought bubble ones. This is an artist. This is an artist called Lisa Lotte. And I just love this cover. This is on a comic that's just come out, which is Stuff of Nightmares, which is by R.L. Stine, who did Goosebumps.
Right.
I love this cover. I think she's done a fantastic job on this sort of Scream cover.
Iconic-y kind of like look as well, isn't it? The woman in distress. Is that actually? It looks almost like a photograph almost.
It's not. It's one of these photorealistic type.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That's really good.
That's the kind of cover I like. You know.
I know Lisa Lotte. So I'm taking that up for her to sign. She's also done some Catwoman covers.
That's really nice too.
That's a reason.
Where would you get her to sign that one, mate? Because there's not an awful lot of space for signature on that one.
And the white right there.
The last one. I mean, the last one.
Oh, the Scream one.
Sign it across her forehead or like come out of her nose.
Give her a mustache.
Or in her mouth.
Actually,
I think it might be quite nice to sign in the mouth.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Actually, if you sign in the mouth, it sort of looks like she's screaming the signature.
Yeah.
Silver in the mouth. That would be
fair enough.
Another guy who's going is the writer artist Kieran Gillen.
Yeah, look, we made a sale. If only we were selling.
I convinced people to buy books.
No, man, just bought that Hulk 250.
The first Jewish heroine woman. So yeah, just so you know.
Sabra.
Yeah, Sabra is Jewish superhero.
Yeah, so we're all going to go out and buy Hulk 250.
Well, it's on my list, but apparently it's the first Soviet super soldiers and it's the first Sabra. It goes for $20 to $100 raw.
Oh,
apparently.
Right. Okay.
That's Hulk 252. That's not 250.
Well, I'm only going by what Noreen said. He's doing his research. I don't know.
Yeah, that 250 doesn't have guest appearances other than a surfer. I mean, it's contained in that. 252 is when the Soviet super soldiers and Sabra come up.
Okay.
So if you want to see them, they're in the Hulk box right behind me here. So.
Right. Okay. Do any of you guys Star Wars fans?
Not to buy any comic books. No.
I do pick up a few.
There are 4 first appearances in this.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Is that issue 3 or is that?
It's issue 5.
Oh.
They tend to get like expensive, don't they? A lot of speculation on Star Wars. They always like whenever there's a first appearance, people will go out and buy it, and then 6 months later, it's like it's worth like $1 now.
Yeah, because there's about 2,000 characters, isn't there?
Exactly. When are you going to start doing your updates? You was doing spec for a while, and you said
doing spec.
And you said you was going to do.
I'm going to do. I've just been because I've been so busy. I'm going to just do some updates in the next month on my. And I've had some hits and I've had some misses.
Right.
I will be.
Yeah. You really need to update and see if you actually were right about all your.
Yeah. No. Some I've done okay on, and some have been disaster.
I think it depends on when you look. You know, some of the books that you mentioned.
Because I was reading them last year, and we were at the peak of the comic market last year. So some of them have But I was doing a lot of Namor, and Namor's actually done reasonably well. So I've done reasonably okay, but I'm going to do a couple of review videos.
Yeah.
This one is Nice House on the Lake, #1, cover
Oh,
B.
that's the cover, yeah.
Now I got Tinian to sign my issue 1 cover A last year, but the reason I'm taking this one up is because both Tinian and the artist of this cover, Simmons, are both at Thought Bubble. Simmons is a guy who you will know best for the Department of Truth covers. Okay, so he did a load of the Department of Truth covers.
Where is Thought Bubble? Is it up Newcastle or something like that? Or
Harrogate,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Tinian, because I was talking to Mark about it the other day, after we get taken care of JMD Mateus next week and Mandrake the week after that, I'm going to work on getting Tinian after Thought Bubble's over. I'm going to work on getting Tinian on here too. So
that'd be great. He's a nice guy. If he can get past his agents and he's big.
If I can get past Neil Gaiman's agents, I can get past his agents.
So when I met him at the Toronto Comic-Con, I had to go through his agents, and I couldn't really talk to him or anything. It was pretty annoying.
Okay, well, if Carl manages to get him, you'll have to come on and you can chat to him on our channel.
Yeah. So by the way, this book, the one that I showed, it is the first cameo appearance of Sabra.
Yeah.
First cameo appearance of Collective Man. First cameo appearance of Arabian Night. First cameo team appearance of the Soviet Super Soldiers.
Somebody's doing the wrong research, because that's issue 252.
No, that's according to Key Collector. So that's
the Key Collector's wrong. It's issue 252. 252 is that. I can go page by page with you here. They're not in there.
Apparently, the last page is the cameo on the last page.
No, they're not in here. It's issue 252.
Well, someone's saying last page. So have a look at the last page. If it's
not
there, then you're right.
Kyle big, and then we can.
You're right. And
no, absolutely not. They're not in here. This is a
it's just banner, isn't it?
Hulk Surfer story.
Yeah, it's just banner on the back there.
The information they have there is Hulk 252. I don't know why they have it on 250, but it's 252. Yeah. Unless they show up in the background of a fight that's happening in West Virginia, which they don't.
With the Arabian Night and Sabra, you think it's somewhere in the Middle East.
Wait. Now I'm thinking of something. Surfers flying around the world, and they may appear. No, see, because he's.
Is there any pictures of other people?
Right on the.
Let me look. I'm going to look at
mycomicshop.com. There's no mention of any of those characters on 250. There's no mention of any of them.
This is what they're talking about. He's flying around the world, and they make an appearance in these little boxes.
Aha! See, that's
are they there?
That's Sabra right there. The one.
That's
are they there?
Sabra. That's Arabian Night. See? That's the Collective Man.
Yep.
Okay.
So they were right.
I really don't count this as anything for this. This isn't even a cameo. He just flies by him, and they show up 2 issues later.
Okay.
Now, granted, I mean, these were characters. Why they got big was because the Contest of Champions happened the month after this. And they turned up big in the Contest of Champions. Issue 252 of the Hulk and Contest of Champions. The Surfer flies by him. I forgot about those individual panels.
Okay.
Because he just flies by people going around the world. So, but yeah. I actually thought this panel was in 252, and then it carried on from there. But it's in this. But he just flies by him. There's zero relevance. They mentioned
it could be anybody.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's sort of like Darkseid. His first cameo.
Yeah.
He's on literally like you can barely recognize him. It's like his little head on a TV screen.
This is technically the follow-up to this.
Mm-hmm.
It has such huge impact. Like I said, those cameos are so ticky-tack. When Sabra really appears in 252, that's not like Hulk 180 and 181, because you hear Wolverine talking in the middle of 180, and then in the end he actually shows up.
Mhm.
That's just a picture where they blurb, "Oh, hey, surfer flies over this area." It's like, yeah, okay, well, that's not even a cameo. That's a
Well, it's a
teaser
cameo.
for-
Cameo just means that you see them. in
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
form.
that's. I mean, that's more ridiculous than the Gambit cameos, but I guess, yeah, tech.
Oh, did we just lose Kyle?
Oh, he's frozen.
I think Key Comic Collector have just
Taken
hijacked.
it out.
Yeah.
So don't
Yeah.
mess with Key Collector.
Yeah, it's on the Marvel wiki page as well. That there's the first cameo. But like he said, I was not surprised he didn't notice them though. They're just literally there being flown by. Was you still got some more you want to show, Mark?
Just the last one. This is a guy called Jack Lawrence,
Hold on.
British artist.
Okay.
A series that I really like. Lions, tigers, and is sort of
Oh my!
is a sort of cartoony type.
Doesn't that look like Lion King a bit?
Well, so this is a story about a kid whose cuddly toys come to life to protect him. So the lions, tigers, and bears are his cuddly toys. You know, he gets. You know, it's a sort of.
It sounds like fun.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
Four issue mini series. Really love the art.
So the artist or the writer is going to be there.
It's both. He did both. He wrote it and he drew it.
Oh wow!
And he's currently doing Sonic. He's currently the main artist on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Carl's gone again.
So yeah, nice little series there. And I'm gonna. He's a lesser known guy, but
That doesn't look so good, does it?
Now we're like,
Yeah, about Carl there. It looks weird like that. How's your 2000 AD collection? I'm not sure I've ever spoken to you about that, Mark. You got a collection of them?
I've got some too. I don't collect it,
Yeah.
but I've got quite a lot.
did you have number 2?
Sorry? I
you
do
have
not
it?
have number 2. If I had number 2, I'd sell it.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous price. I mean, it's something crazy like $30,000 or something.
No
No,
way.
it's not that
I had to
much,
log
but
back
it is
on. What's
expensive. It's like about
$30,000?
10.
The first appearance of Judge Dredd. It's
2000 AD
2000
too.
AD number 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I have it downstairs. If you want me
an
to.
absolute. Hey, you want to trade it, but not for $30,000.
No,
It's not
no. I'm
30,000. I knew it was going for that much.
Let me just check it up. I'll tell you, it is a ridiculous price.
The last time I saw
Wow.
it, it was around. I think it was 13,000.
Really?
Was I the only
And
one
that
that
was
cut
for a
out there? Or
6.0.
did you guys cut out too?
No,
And
just you, mate. Just you.
yeah, and then the
just you.
sound went out, and I had to recycle and come back
So,
on.
so my copy.
We
of
was
it
all
is
talking
probably
about it
like
behind
a
your back.
7 or 8, but but it doesn't have the mask or whatever it is. That's the tattoos. The tattoos. It doesn't have the tattoos.
Can't
Well,
believe
he's
it's
looking that
gone
up,
for that
and you
much.
guys mentioned Jock earlier. I had this out and forgot to show it on the black and white. If you like Jock, here's some rare Jock for you autograph.
Okay. Green
Okay,
Arrow.
guys, 2000 AD, number 2. There's one 9.6. There are 3 9.4s, which I've never sold. There is 4 9.0s, and the last sale was for $23,000.
For the
what?
9.0 or for the 9.6?
The 9.0.
$23,000. Well, I don't want a 9.0 anyway. I just want a bloody well reader. That's all I want. How much do they go for?
There's 196, 3 9.4s, 4 9s,
Wow, that's
4
expensive.
6.5s, and 2 2s. And the only
Yeah, I
one
think it was the 6.5 that sold for like 13. Is that right, Mark?
6.5 sold for
right.
11.5.
11 and a
Wow.
half. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I knew it was some above 10 number.
And while it's here, I'm gonna show off Matilda's art they got to me the other day too, because
Yeah.
Matilda's art. Wow, is that so? That's a genuine Matilda.
that's
a
genuine
Matilda original.
Matilda.
Oh, that's pretty good. Quite
And
like
I'm
that.
gonna frame this up and put it on the wall behind me. But since it was out here,
So if you ever do the cover slingers, you have to show that. You know,
Ah,
I'm gonna
Get
be showing
able
that
to
off
judge.
Saturday when I win with my $5 I said.
With your 5 ducks.
yeah.
You won't.
I put
Is Metarog on?
No,
No,
Oh,
he's
actually
away.
covering for him.
Oh, you might have
Metarog's brutal.
well.
You beat him once. You beat him once, didn't you?
Yeah, I
beat
beat him outright. I've tied him once and beat him outright once.
Okay.
Now I just need to beat Bub and then finish 4th and 5th, and I'll have everything covered.
You was never on with Bub before, was you?
Bub beat me. I
Was
want
you
to
on with
beat
Bub?
him. Yeah, I was on with Bub, and Bub beat me when I finished 3rd.
I don't.
So-
I don't. Yeah.
I want to beat everybody at least once, and then
I'm not
I
sure
wanna
if Bub will ever
finish
be on
7th
again.
place.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you have the chance there.
The only concern I would have, like, is Matilda would say, okay, it doesn't look like a duck. It looks too cartoony.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
All your Disney stuff goes out the window, right?
Let me show you. This is the best bit of art Matilda ever did. And the reason being is because she just loves this character so much. So here's her Jimmy Olsen that she did for me
There you go.
for my
That's cool.
birthday. So you got Jimmy Olsen for the Grey Man's birthday. There you go. There's Jimmy.
All righty.
He's
You know,
got
it
a
always
cake.
has like a secret American flag in it. Doesn't it look like an American flag?
With what bit? The cake?
No, down below. The two presents.
You think so? Oh, you look like
You know
a
what I'm saying?
folded
It's
up
like
flag.
kind
You
of
mean
subliminal.
like the old fold when they fold it into a triangle for a fallen soldier? That kind of flag.
Yeah, maybe.
It does look a bit like that, actually. Yeah, now you say it.
So that's cool. I didn't realize Matilda was a artist and
A fine
Oh, yeah.
artist. I listed her as a fine artist in mine, and I'm not sucking up to the jet.
Yeah, right. You're not sucking up, Mark, Kyle. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do people's names. I just call you 1, 2, and 3. So I keep mixing you up anyway. But
We're moving around, so it's gonna change.
I think I've called Kyle Mark, and I've called him Alan, and I think I've called you Kyle. I don't really know. I just all yeah. As long as you all know who you are, that's all that matters.
Yeah, sometimes.
Can I call you Crusty Nutsack Gray?
If you have to.
Showing my
what everybody
love.
else
Doing
calls
one
it.
If
thing.
you really feel the need, then go ahead.
Crusty Nutsack. There's me showing my love for you. Hey, what
Oh, dear.
segments are we doing today? What segments? What segments?
I don't know. It's a segment of just sitting here and chatting.
Are you going to do panels? Please me at all?
No, I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered, mate. I couldn't be bothered. I was a bit
All
busy
right,
today.
well,
I
when
might,
we get
maybe if I can be bothered in the future, I'll do them in the future. But at the
when
moment,
we get a few minutes, if we get a few minutes in here, I do want to do a character study.
yeah,
today.
we could do a character study, no problem. We could even do that bloody well, reading up the facts that I've had open in a window for about 2 months now. I never got around to reading.
Read
we
some
did talk.
facts.
Let's do that now. Let's damn
What-
well do that now because
with
I have
the
not got panel. Yeah, look, here we go. This is the section of the show. You'll like this. With
Mhm.
these facts, I rule. There you go. It's a Cole tribute. Instead of with this axe I rule, it's with these facts I rule. So I just got this article. Anyone's got any interesting facts, they can add their own facts here. But it's just 10 interesting things about Stan Lee. I thought start off with someone everybody knows. 10 amazing facts about Stan Lee. We'll be the judge of that. So first off, his wife was also his barber. As a bit of a throwaway fact, Stanley Martin Lieber, Stan Lee, revealed the secret of his slick back mane on the second page of his memoir. My whole adult life, I've never been to a barber, he wrote. Joni always cuts my hair.
Joni.
There you go. That's the first fact about Stan Lee. All I can
Now,
say
did
is that
she cut
I've
the
saved
hair on his
plenty
head?
of money myself over the years. That's all I can say. Like barbers, razor blades, I've just
I do mine with clippers, but did she cut the hair on his head like mine, or did she actually put down his little tribble and trim it to make it look?
I have no idea. I have no idea the process she went through to do it. I couldn't
I
tell
mean,
you.
because he wore a toupee for decades.
Did
and
he?
a bad toupee.
I didn't know that.
Stan Lee was as bald as me.
Yeah.
Stanley was bald here. He wore
Okay.
a
Yeah,
rotten
I have
toupee.
to say, it looks like a toupee in later years. I have to
He
say.
wore a rotten toupee for a long time. Like from 40 to 92, he wore a bad toupee.
You heard it here first, guys.
Come here to learn about
Yeah,
Stan Lee's.
I didn't know that.
toupee.
That was the idea. Like we would do these facts, and everyone got any of their own facts. They can throw them
actually
in,
have a
so
fact
it's
about
working.
Stan Lee that you guys probably don't know.
What
What's
was
that?
that?
What comic did he make his first cover appearance?
It's that Western Black
Yeah,
Smoke.
you're right.
Yeah.
It's
Like in
Lone Rider number
1958.
2.
Yeah.
He made a cover,
1958
like
Western.
a photo cover, and they got
Oh.
Stan Lee posing as like
Oh,
some.
well done, Kyle.
Okay, I've not heard of that
And
one.
then his first work for Marvel,
Is
was
Captain Marvel 3?
America, not
Captain
Marvel.
America, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain
And it was just a text
Other-
piece, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Okay.
a full story. It was just a text piece. But
And
Right.
how old was he? 17?
No,
yeah. And why do you get the job?
no one else wanted it. I don't know.
He worked for
Pay
free.
somebody off. Or...
Martin Goodman was his uncle by marriage.
Oh, nice.
So
Good old
Right.
nepotism.
And it was Martin Goodwin who went on to do Atlas, isn't it?
I think, Gray, you're
Yeah.
in trouble here because we seem to have two people who know quite a lot about Stan Lee.
Well, that's it. That's the good thing, right? We just throw out facts from this website,
I
and anyone
wrote
else
an
got any facts
international-
they know, put them in the chat. Mention them here. Because you were saying the other day about Atlas, and you said, I saw you said Archie Goodman. I think it was Archie Goodwin. I think you said, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
think you did.
Yeah.
It was Martin Goodman. I think
Martin
it was-
Goodman, yeah.
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
Goodman, yeah.
Yeah.
When Marvel kicked him out, when
He did
Cadence
Atlas.
and all that bought out, and Marvel kicked him out to spite.
Right.
He
You
based
guys
that.
ready for fact DOS?
That's why-
Whatever, I don't know.
That's why Atlas Seaboard is more or less a spinoff of Marvel, because it's got full Marvel connection, and then most of the characters got absorbed because Demon Slayer went on to the Defenders and things like that, and
Yeah.
Target got switched around. But
Yeah, they were
I
owned,
think-
weren't they? They were creator owned, weren't they? All the characters still, so they was able to ship them to other
yeah,
places, weren't
creator
they?
owned of
Yeah.
sorts. They tried to go that route with it, but that's what
Mm.
Goodman did is at spite out of the end. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've written a Stan Lee eulogy that was published out of the UK and Ireland.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that ties us into fact number 3. Young Stan Lee wrote obituaries. Before writing about their fantastic lives of fictional characters, Lee wrote anti-mortem obituaries for celebrities at an undisclosed news office in New York. He said that he eventually quit that job because it was too depressing. There you go. The facts are all coming together now. It's
That was his supplemental income in his 20s.
and apparently Silver Surfer was one of his favorite characters to write.
It was his favorite, flat out. And not
Flat out.
besides Spidey, it was his favorite. It was his favorite, hands down.
Okie dokie. There you go. Facts, mate. Facts.
So what was number 2? You skipped right over.
I skipped number 2. Number 2 was apparently his confidence came from his mother. Lee wrote that as a child he loved to read books by Mark Twain, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, and others. And his got that wrong. And his mother often watched him read. I probably got my self-confidence from the fact that my mother thought everything I did was brilliant. There you go.
All right.
Didn't help me with my confidence. My mum thought everything I did was brilliant, and I was bloody useless.
I begged my mom to be on here again today to embarrass me, but she was busy today. So one day my mom's going to make a little appearance on here for a laugh.
We
You
want to
keep
see
saying
your
that.
mum, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's that?
We want to see your mum, and we want to hear one of her read it. We want to see her read a poem.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And tell embarrassing stories about Kyle as a boy as well.
I'm telling you, my mother's pseudonym, it has to be, my mother's pseudonym has to be Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings. That has to be my mother's pseudonym.
So you're saying her poems aren't good then?
I'm saying they beat Vogons.
Okay.
So we better be prepared for our intestine.
I mean, when she's on, she's actually a renowned, awarded poet.
No.
But when she writes her as the purple hued light glows off the asphalted street, it's like, oh my God, give me an Ambien and hammer it into my skull.
I hope she's not watching tonight, Kyle.
Oh, she will be.
That's,
you got to come on and prove me wrong, Mom. That's the right
That's
joke.
from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm sure that in the book and in the radio, the universe's worst poet wasn't the same in both places. I'm sure. I remember, like back in the day, they didn't tally up.
Vogon something or whatever they
The
were called.
Vogons are the third worst. Second
Yeah,
is
Vogon's
Frost
third. Number one's Paula.
I'm
Nancy
sure, but I'm
Millstone
sure
Jennings.
it's either in the radio version. I'm sure I remember, or TV version. It was the worst.
Paula
It was a
Nancy
different-
Millstone Jennings.
Yeah, but I'm sure it was different in the two
You're
different
right,
things.
Kyle.
No,
I'm sure it was the same on
Right, I
both because I know it was called.
it's the same on the TV show.
I'm
It's
sure I
the
remember in
same
one
book.
place that it was different. I remember thinking, I mean, it's a long time ago since I've read it, but I'm sure I
And-
remember at one point going, that's not the same as what it was in the book. You know
one
what I mean?
one of the last things Doug approved of with the newer movie before he passed away was to make sure they kept at least that name straight too. So
Well-
that is one consistent thread all the way through it. Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings is the worst writer.
Yeah.
is
I
the
don't-
worst
Who
poet,
the hell
and
is she anyway?
And then
Who-
nobody. It's somebody she made up. It had something to do with a woman. I think he.
Oh,
once
he made it
dated
up.
named Paula or
I
something.
thought it was a real
Right.
author. I thought that'd
But,
be really fun.
Yeah.
But he was kind of poking fun at one person, but at a distance, and he wanted that thread to stay the same because Marvin was so drastically different between the TV series and the movie. If you
Yeah.
have an emoticon on your phone that you say robot, if you look at it, that's Marvin from the 1970s.
You talk about the look of the character, not
TV
the
show.
not the demeanor. The demeanor
They
was the
didn't
same.
take away the demeanor
the,
to
the
him.
look was a lot
They put
different.
Rickman in there, but they
Yeah.
changed the drastic look to him to go.
I thought the
less
whole
Robbie the robot.
Yeah, I've got a pain in the diodes down my left-hand side.
Yeah, the last
then
10,000 years or something.
Another fun piece of
Life.
trivia.
Don't talk to me about life.
In the early 2000s movie when they go to save. Oh my God! I almost said Friday. I'm screwing up names in my head. When they go to save her from the Vogons and they go and they have to go get in the queue to sign her out.
Trillion.
If you look in the line when they're going to sign out Trillion and Q, in the queue they have to actually walk by.
That's right. They walk that. That's right. Yeah.
They walk by the original Marvin. He just kind of steps aside. And that's the original Marvin. From
Yeah,
the
that's
TV
right.
show.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Stan Lee because we derailed on that one.
Yeah,
But,
No, that's the whole thing. We're
my
giving
mom's
facts.
pseudonym should be Paula Nancy Millstone Jennings. So
We're giving that. Interestingly enough, like I do a heavy metal podcast, and at the end of every show, I do a secret song, like about 2 or 3 minutes after the show's finished. It's always like an old crappy musical or a 20s song or something like that. And I'm just gonna play. I've actually got one now. It's actually I'll play it for you now. It's actually Marvin the Paranoid Android doing a song. If it plays, it should do. Can you hear it?
It's very 90s techno.
Long ago, in another galaxy, there lived a gloomy robot. His name was Marvin. He was getting old and a bit rusty, and nobody liked him. One day, being very bored, he thought it would be a good idea to tidy up all his old programs in his dusty old data bank. There were tapes in there he hadn't played for years. Checking them through, he accidentally pushed the wrong button, and suddenly he heard...
Marvin, I love you. Marvin, I love you.
Well, he was sure he hadn't heard that.
Do you want to hear? Is that enough? You don't need to hear it.
We get the drift.
Yeah, that was just like, no. I was going to play it on the last week's show, but then Jerry Lee Lewis died, so I had to put him as the last secret song instead. They
should play that song when somebody's thinking of jumping.
Yeah. All right, let's do the next stand fact then. Number 4, Captain America was his first big break. I think we've already mentioned that one ourselves, so we don't need to say any more about that. He wrote a 2-page Captain America comic. He wrote it under the pen name Stan Lee which became his legal name, and titled it Captain America Foils the Traitor's Revenge. There you go. His first full comic script would come in Captain America issue 5 in August 1st, 1941. Nice. There you go. Another fact, he wrote training films for the army with Dr. Zeus. After being transferred from the Army Signal Corps in New Jersey, Lee works as a playwright in the training film division in Queens with 8 other men, including a few who went on to be very famous. Pulitzer Prize winning author William Sarion, cartoonist Charles Addams, creator of the Addams Family, director Frank Capra, Mr. Smith Goes to Hollywood, 1939, and It's a Wonderful Life, 1946.
Crossed paths with Capra. That was about it. They took a picture together.
And Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Zeus. There you go. Back to you. What was that, Kyle?
With the directors, the writers and the directors post for a picture together, but that's
He just says they wrote doing training films. They might have been in the same building or something like that. They probably weren't. They're probably in the same. They probably all were in the Signal Corps, but never actually hung out.
They did a picture together with all the Signal Corps guys that he was in, but he like passed him in the hallways. with
Yeah.
Seuss and a few of the others there. He actually worked side by side.
I wish someone would run with that and do a Stan Lee Dr. Zeus mashup. That could be really cool. Because I don't know what rhymes with Silver Surfer. I can't think. Or yeah, you'd have to be. I don't know.
Green eggs and ham.
The Spider-Man in the hat or something. Yeah, I love Green Eggs and Ham. That's my. I still got my kids' version. When I was a little kid of Green Eggs and Ham.
My favourite Doctor Zeus.
It's got no cover on it or anything like that. It's just like the inside book. But
that which sits directly next to my.
I never read that one.
Guide I'm reading right now.
But Green Eggs and Ham is an absolute classic. Sure. Yeah. All right, let's do the next fact. Has anyone's got any other facts related to that fact? No.
No.
That was it.
All right. He defied the Comics Code Authority with an anti-drug comic. I think that's fairly well known.
96 through 98 ASM.
He just says in 1971, Lee received a letter from the Department of Health, Education and Welfare asking him to put an anti-drug message in one of his books. He came up with a Spider-Man story that involved his best friend Harry abusing pills because of a breakup.
Well,
the CCA would not approve the story without blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, there's one without the CCA approval on it, isn't there?
There's three, 96, 97, and 98.
Does that, it must precede the Speedy in Green Lantern getting on drugs.
Same time frame, within months of each other.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure which one was first.
This Spider-Man.
That I could never afford that blinking Green Lantern one, but that's such a kind of like real stark cover. You look at it, he's got the blinking thing tied around his arm. And he's got that's pulls no punches. That cover when you look at it, I'm surprised.
Good God, my word, Speedy's a junkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that idea, actually, to tell you the truth.
No. It's like, he kind of took a bit of a left turn there, didn't he, that character? Blimey.
That's when DC went dark.
Yeah.
Bronze Age.
I always kind of think of like people who read him from like older people, obviously read him like since he was a little kid in the comic books, and he's one of their favorite characters, or whatever. And if they suddenly come across that, how kind of annoying that would be for them. It always annoys me, like a character you've known for years suddenly gets a major change or something, or gets killed off. It's like, why did they do that?
Interesting. I was looking at, we've got Tom Mandrake coming on, haven't we, Kyle?
Yeah.
So I was looking at my Spectre run, the Tom Mandrake Spectre run.
Yeah.
And there's no Comic Code Authority stuff on that.
Is there not?
No. I went to have a look at it because I heard Tom talking about this, and because it's quite extreme horror. I mean, there's some really horrific stories in that Spectre series. So it'll be interesting to talk to Tom about, whether they just didn't have the Comic Code Authority, whether that affected sales or
on the covers at that time.
It was still going. They were still doing it, I think, generally on DC, but it wasn't on the Spectre.
Because I know you collect a load of like Alan, the books for that sort of set off the Comic Code, like the Seduction of the Innocent books. I know that's one of your niches of collecting. But do you know much? About the rules of the Comic Code Authority? Because there was some crazy stuff in there, wasn't there? Like, that werewolves and drugs, vampires and stuff.
No guns. Like no guns. I mean, advertisements, I should say. No like vampires. No blood. Blood. Like, it was just like.
Wasn't there something about the Two-Face couldn't be used for quite a while because he had facial
facial deformities, stuff like that. The rules actually you can find the rules online. They actually modified them over the years and kind of toned it down a bit. But what a lot of people don't realize is the Comic Code Authority was actually like, it wasn't like some government thing. It was like the publishers themselves.
To stop the backlash of like bad, faults or whatever. Stop the public from being up in arms and burning comic books, probably.
Yeah, and you couldn't use certain words too. You couldn't use like eerie, weird, things like that. You couldn't use those on the cover.
because some countries like burning things, so they got to be, they wouldn't, they got to be careful about that,
Yeah, silly Americans. So, yeah.
I'm sure I had a point I was going to say something. I can't believe it was now. I'll just get on to the next fact because my brain literally had something I was going to say and forgot it like in the same breath. I breathed in, I thought something, and as I breathed out, I've completely forgot what it was. Anyway, apparently an issue at the printers turned the Hulk green. Everyone knows that. The character was supposed to be grey, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently, his wife destroyed his prized typewriter. According to Lee, during an argument, Joni destroyed the typewriter he used to write the first issues for characters, including Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. This happened before eBay, he wrote. Too bad, I could have auctioned the parts and made a mint.
Yeah, she threw it through the sliding glass door going out.
Oh, wow. Fiery temper.
She must have had a bit of a temper.
Yeah, lucky she wasn't cutting his hair at the time. Could have lost the would have needed more than a toupee to cover up the hole, probably. Yeah, don't think. Yeah.
He'd also left the toilet seat up again.
Yeah, something like that. Dear.
Weren't a lot of the characters based on his wife?
Maybe.
I think like MJ, not MJ.
The look of them, yeah. Gwen Stacy, the look of her.
Gwen Stacy, that's the
young wife.
Okay. I must say, I do like a bit of alliteration. I'm guessing it's Stanley that brought that out in me. He did like a bit of alliteration, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he always liked to have the same first letter and last letter.
And a mighty marble manner. Oh, yeah.
So he wouldn't forget.
Yeah.
That's what all the characters. But in DC, it's like all double L's in Superman. It's like, what happened there? It's like Superman's all double L's, like Lana Lang and Lois Lane and Lex Luthor. But then all Stan's characters have all got double names, sort of alliterative names, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who wrote Werewolf by Night originally? What made them think Jack Russell was a good name for
somebody thought that was a good name.
Someone who had like a dog-like powers.
Doug Munch. Doug Munch.
Oh, did he? Did he? Okay.
Same guy as Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Munch. Okay. Yeah, I looked it up.
When Lee moved his family to Los Angeles, he set up a studio in Van Nuys where he stored videotapes of his talks and interviews, along with a commissioned bust of his wife. The building was lost to a blaze that the fire department believed was arson, but no one was ever charged with the crime. So it looks like Stanley did an insurance job at some point then.
No, he upset his wife again.
Yeah. And she'd already smashed the typewriter, so she's like, I'm just going to arson this time.
I'm fed up of cutting your hair, Stan.
Yeah, she didn't cut his hair. She scalped him. That's why he had That's why he had a toupee in the first place, probably, by the sounds of it. Oh yeah, apparently his wife voiced Madam Web in the animation. I think I heard that before.
Yeah, I think I heard that before too.
The surfer that stole Christmas. He's like the Grinch. There's the final fact then. Final fact. Beginning with the Spider-Man film in 2002, Stan Lee has made quick cameos in Marvel films as a service to the fans. He said that his appearance in Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007 was inspired by the story of Reed and Sue Richards' wedding in Fantastic Four Volume 1, number 3, in which he and artist-writer Jack Kirby attempt to crash the ceremony, but are thwarted, it says.
Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, he's in all of them, isn't he? But I don't remember that particular scene. He's in the comic as well, trying to get into the wedding.
Yeah.
It's such a done thing. Every single wedding. Has there ever been a wedding in Marvel or DC that wasn't crashed by some villain or other? Sure, there must be every single one that gets at least one villainous gatecrasher.
Happens.
Yeah.
They can never get really married. Never. But one fact that I thought you were going to mention, but you didn't.
It wasn't in the article, mate. It wasn't in the article. It's your time to shine.
My time to shine. So one of the things that I looked up when he died, I was always curious. Like, he must be worth billions of dollars because of, he was kind of major, right?
Yeah.
His net worth was only like 50 million.
Okay, well that's
which is not much.
that's
considering.
49 and 0.98% more than I've got probably.
Yeah. But my point is, like, it's like considering, all the, think about the MCU, how much money that made billions of dollars.
Yeah. I
he
guess
didn't
his
really-
percentage wasn't great.
He was basically an employee, wasn't he?
He was editor, right?
Yeah, but he didn't own the business, so he's
No.
I don't know if he ever had any equity.
No,
no real equity. He was editor-in-chief emeritus, and that was
he was a salary guy.
Yeah.
While since we were sitting here, I decided to read a few chapters of this, and then I remembered. And yes, Graham, you were absolutely right. In the first printing of the book, in the original story, he hadn't put her in yet. And between the later printings and the TV show, when they started putting out, that's where he intertwined her. And then that was the thread that connected the two, the TV show and the movie. So they didn't actually name her in the first unabridged. I mean, this is a later printing, but it's the full unabridged original.
Right. Hey, so we're both right, really.
So, there's a connection, but yeah, she wasn't in the first printing of that. She was added because of that, and then the through thread to the thing. So
sometimes it works, guys. Sometimes, not often. Occasionally it works. A little spark, a little.
When you read books like this for shits and giggles, you're gonna be smart.
my copy was given to me. I've still got it upstairs. My auntie Anne gave it to me in 1980 when I was my 10th birthday or something like that. So, yeah.
What a great gift. Did you enjoy it?
Auntie-M.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was a voracious reader. I read everything. I read loads.
Your Auntie-M.
My auntie Anne.
Oh, Auntie-M. I thought you said my Auntie-M. I was like, did you get it on your trip back from Oz?
Auntie-M,
yeah.
So was that all the Stan Lee trivia?
That was it. There's only 10. That's enough. I think that's enough. It was like just a conversation starter, really. Like, and we got a few tangents off it. So it's done its business. Next week I'll look up some Jack Kirby if we've got time, because we've got a guest, didn't we? So is it next week he's on? It is next week, isn't it?
They're both on in the second half of the show, which could potentially extend. But they both have previous engagements because Tom's a teacher by day.
Okay.
So, and then JM's got some other stuff going on. So they're game for coming on in the second half. And if it carries over, so be it. Like I said, Bill's game when he comes back in too. So we'll develop.
Kyle, sorry. So we've got Tom Mandrake and
week after each other.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I'll hear back from Gaiman's people over the next. He's on a book tour right now. And when he gets the chance to slow down, I'll get a response from him.
Yeah. Don't tell him how many viewers we get, will you? Don't tell him we've never gone into double figures, because, he doesn't need to know that, does he?
Those people that can brag for being the seedlings before this absolutely blows up when word gets out how amazing we are. But as you're talking about Jack Kirby, Mark, may I share another? Since he's right behind me.
What are you saying in your book? All right.
He's showing another of our tradies.
Oh, I was about to pick up a pile of books to show while he was going to do that, but I realised they're my duck books, so I won't show those.
Yeah.
Don't show your duck books.
I won't show you duck books.
Your competition to know.
No, exactly.
There's a few autographs going Mark's way.
All right.
There's some freebies. If you like country music, there's a little Clark 8x10.
Who's that?
Roy Clark from Hee Haw.
Roy Clark. I never heard of him.
You know what?
An amazing player.
Right, what do you mean, who's that? It's Roy Clark.
You've not heard of him either. Don't lie, Mark.
There's a beautiful story behind this, but, another day.
No, I thought Dave Clark. I've heard of Dave Clark 5.
Dave Clark 5.
Not Roy Clark.
A random Malibu comic that I'm throwing his way for free because it's an Argona autograph.
Hey, Sleepy Reader. Make sure you come back next week and a week after. We got special guests.
Because he's not a big fan of autographs, but, he didn't have an Aragonia's autograph, and he wanted that. And then he didn't have an autograph of Jack. And
hee-haw.
There is Mark's new Jack Kirby autograph.
I've got you on the full screen. Hold on a second. I was asleep there. Sleep on the job. Okay, Jack Kirby. Ooh.
So
One
if
left.
you look that up, there's about 1,000 Stan Lees, and
Signed.
Not many Jack-
nobody sells the Jack Kirby one. It's just
Sealed up tight. This thing hasn't even been budged.
Is that a reprint it's signed on though? It's not an actual.
yeah, it's the
Yeah,
reprint.
it's the 1991.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, the silver
1992
border around it. That was
milestones.
cool.
Milestone.
And
milestone.
this, yes, but this, the X-Men, he did 2,000 of, and they did a Fantastic Four one, which they did 1,961 of.
Okay.
So you won't see them come up, but Mark needed a Kirby autograph, and I'm just a nice guy. So
I hadn't got a Kirby autograph, and
now Mark does.
I do.
I've got 4 Tom Mandrake autographs, and that's about it, I think. Now I did buy a 4 comic with who's that artist did 4? A lot.
Keith Pollard.
No, I can't remember his name now. Wally, I don't know. Forgetting his name now. But yeah, it happened to have his signature on the front of one of them. I wouldn't mind. I'm following his page on Facebook, and I've forgotten his bloody name. Did loads of 4. Anyway, never mind.
Again, I'd still think Keith Pollard. All right. Well, since we're closing in on 2 hours, you got a few minutes for me to do a not so somber character study.
Yeah, go for it, mate. Go for it. I mean, I'm no rush to when I've got my dinner. I've got to
Can we not do death or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started with Eternity last week. I did death, and I forwarded Graham pictures of my old.
Cheers for that,
flower,
Kyle. That was yeah.
He's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at what I'm looking
I don't
at.
know if I want to be looking at it. Is what he was.
There was a picture of my malignant bladder tumor that they took. So
You know what I mean?
I sent him a picture of that.
I don't know about you fellas, but like,
But and again,
Carl.
calling back to the Hitchhiker's Guide, I called it my
Yeah.
little petunias.
I gotta sign that, and then
If
you
I
can
was-
make it like,
If I was looking for some artwork for another death metal album or something, or if my band was bringing out a new demo, I could have used that.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead, pull it up, show it. I sent it. You can
no,
pull
I
it
don't
up.
think I downloaded it, mate. I left that in the ether.
All right,
It's like
but it looks like a pretty ass flower, and it was killing me. But
yeah, I don't know about that, mate.
But you got to have a sense of humor about it. So, like I said, my doctor thought I was nuts. I'm like, I'm making jokes about that.
Yeah.
So
If you've got any more of those, Kyle, send them to Gray, not me.
No.
yeah, great loves that stuff.
Mark was
So,
saying
but-
how he'd like to see some pictures of your scars and that. If you could just show pictures of that, send him some.
there's where they sewed my
Trade
finger
off.
back on.
Trade off.
See the scars where they sewed my finger back on. Here, even through this, you can.
How
see
did you
what I
manage
had.
that?
I've had a knife stuck through my face right there. That was shrapnel that went between my finger.
You need to be more
And
careful, mate. You need to
Here's
be more
some
careful.
trivia. You know what happens when the webbing of your fingers goes?
It gets
Like
bloody.
my pinky was like this, and the webbing got shredded, and it just goes like that. The joints don't actually hold it in place. The skin holds your bones in place.
Oh wow.
And when a hot piece of shrapnel.
Oh,
went
there's
there,
my
it
sleep
stepped
for
off,
tonight.
so-
Yeah.
So
Can you send
This
Gray
just
some
dropped.
pictures, Kyle?
No, gosh.
and I could look down my hand, and there's like empty space in here, and I could see halfway up my arm up this. So
This is great dinner conversation.
then I took my shirt off and wrapped it around and lit a cigarette and had them take me to the hospital. So
Yeah.
I've
So
had
I-
some mental
What's your
issues.
character study?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my
Now
character
you've brought the level of the, now you've talked about gore and whatever. It's probably going to be like Bugs Bunny or something fun like that now. Oh, yeah, Captain America. That's all right.
Now, there were plenty I was going to dig out. I was actually going to, because especially considering we're covering everywhere. We've got me in America, Alan in England, Alan in
Canada.
and you two in
Canadian
England.
land.
And when I went to pull these out, I was going to just as an example, so I didn't leave people out. I was going to pull out Captain Canuck #1 and Captain Britain #1.
Mhm.
But I got a little busy. But let's just say, if I'm talking about my Captain America complex, it can be applied to the same things because the ideologies of these characters were altruism and step to the front, make sure to protect the people behind you. So even though I'm talking about Captain America, I'm also talking about Captain Britain, and I'm also talking about Captain Canuck. But the character study here is how Captain America affected my character as a young man, much how he affected so many people, because of guys like I was in the Marine with and stuff like that. Yeah, chicken fingers. Here you go. There's a chicken finger. They told me this finger would never work again after 10 years. 30 years later, even though there's permanent nerve damage in this part of my hand. I can put a lighter under here and not feel it, but yeah, that was just answering the question in that. But with the Captain America, as an ideological child in my tween and teen years, Captain America and the X-Men had a big impact. The X-Men show, you get along with different cultures and things like that, and how everyone's equal. But then Captain America was all accepting, and I should get a Cap 117 because that's one of the first things it ever said. We are equal. Period. It just put its foot down, and said this is my equal superhero with the Falcon. And he has so many of those, and goes back to the beginning when Cap was punching Hitler in the face a year before we got involved in the war. Because the Jewish creators of him were making a statement, you will not stand on our people. And those kids that put it out, those kids being Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. So there's Dave Hoover's autograph. But since we had out autographs, I figured what better Cap than pull out my Joe Simon autograph cap. Mm-hmm. But the whole character study here is how the idea of Cap affected me later and throughout my life. Because, like I talked about last week, how that Captain Marvel issue, I actually quoted the day before that had nothing to do with the show. It's affected me so much, I'm quoting it right up till the moment. And that came out in 82. Well, Cap predates my birth by 25 years. Cap was 25 by the time I was born. So, and again, it's ideological. They don't, Cap's not Jewish, even though all the creators and stuff were Jewish from those groups of guys, those rough and tumble street guys, but they didn't make them Jewish to make them to placate to the masses. They made him Mr. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, but it was a Jewish struggle. And I got to studying that while I was still 13 years old. Not only am I studying Captain America's backstory that came from these guys, but their backstory and how it affected him, So I'm learning as a teenager, I shouldn't be cruel to another culture, and it's hammered home. But like by then I'd also met Elie Wiesel, who was a brilliant writer who wrote Night, about dealing with the concentration camps and the loss of his family and things like that. And these things are building my character in small town Indiana to, all right, I want to be that guy. I want to have these kind of muscles, even though he was kind of wiry in the books back then, but he was still agile and just strong and fought for the right. So the way it affected me in school was I would not put up with bullies. I was a jock, but I wasn't the jock that picked on the nerd kids. I was the jock that looked at the other jocks and said, if you pick on this kid in front of me, I'm going to punch you right in the mouth. And meant it, and they knew I meant it. So therefore, I ended up becoming friends with the nerds out of the jock group. Then I became editor of my school paper, walked away from being a jock to go academic. But I still stood my ground, and part of me doing that, obviously good upbringing through my mom. So hi, Mom, good upbringing there too. But I'm learning this through comics, and I'm using Cap as the prime example because there's plenty of examples, Soup's Truth, Justice, and the American Way. But Cap really put it out there because here was a guy that was so fragile initially, and he put himself on the line, go ahead and make me your lab rat so I can try and do better. So I get this Captain America complex, and in the philosophy and psychological studies, there is actually a Captain America complex, as defined, that it falls under a category, but where you get the "here I come to save the day," the whole Mighty Mouse, and I started developing when the shit hits the fan. I look around me to see who those are around me that I need to protect. I put them behind me, and I go to knock the fan over so the shit stops hitting people. But I put a barrier between me and them so it doesn't hit them until I knock that fan down. Now, part of this is built into me. Part of it's, old military things, being trained through, American guys' families and stuff. But a lot of it, I learned by guys like Kirby. Stan Lee rode on the front line. Kirby had a gun in his hand when he went out and did that.
Kyle, can I just ask a question? Because
ask away.
The way you've described that is great, and that's the way it should be seen. One of my concerns about Cap is it's highly nationalistic. It's very American. It's like, Star Spangled Banner, or America.
Yeah.
This is like Trump supporters.
No.
Are you with me? So
I think like in his book he
I'm gonna throw up already, on the dog here,
because he said that he didn't always follow the government, did he? He didn't always do what the government told him to do.
Bad American.
Yeah,
he's American, like the ideal, not the government.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the ideological, but Cap dropped the mantle in the 70s and 80s. He became nomad, because he was disillusioned with what the government was doing then. Yeah. And it carried on through the 80s when he actually, when John Walker came up, that was in the prime of Ronald Reagan. It's like, you can't force this on people.
Mm-hmm.
And they made that statement against them all across the board. It didn't matter political affiliation. He'd punch an American in the mouth because they could be part of Hydra or whatever. And again, it is Captain America is very American. And that's why I said, shame on me for not actually digging out my.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, it looks like the Trump supporters have thrown him out.
Yeah, the Trump supporters have got in and cut him off.
You've lost sound, mate. You've lost sound.
I would actually think that the Trump supporters would be Captain America, so kind of related, because
because they would be.
If you think about Trump,
what their ideal of him was.
He was against the government. He was about cleaning up the government.
Against
the swamp.
I don't think he was necessarily against the government, but he was like, he wouldn't go with the government if they wanted him to do something which went against his own personal views, kind of thing. So he wouldn't do it just because his government told him to do it. If he was against his moral, thing, that he wouldn't do it. Yeah, quite possibly. I don't want to go any too further into that because I've got few enough viewers as it is without me going on to. let's not go there.
Yeah, you're trying to encourage the Trump supporters, are you, Greg?
No. I don't want to offend them because there's plenty of them around.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things. Like if you mention Trump, it's like your channel goes to 0 views.
Yeah, it depends what you say, probably.
So Metarog saying, read the first Secret Empire storyline.
Principle over politics. Exactly. That's the perfect encapsulation of what Captain America is.
Yeah,
Principle over
politics.
That's what I was
trying to say, that he's about the American ideal, which is like,
which I think everyone in the world should be like in the actual ideal, because they're noble ideals. I always love Captain America, not because he was American, because I didn't have any like kind of massively like impressive opinion. Oh, he's American, he's so awesome. It's just like, just the ideals are universal, aren't they? Everyone wants people to be free
and happiness and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyone can be,
the American dream and all that thing.
That could be quite a good discussion about who is the most principled superhero.
I would say it's Captain America.
Do you?
Yeah, I would.
Spidey is, with great power comes great responsibility.
There'd be an argument for Green Arrow, but he's a bit lefty, but he's very principled and he's got very forthright views, hasn't he? Old Green Arrow.
But I would say that like Spider-Man, he might he has that, but it's other people telling him that. It's not him having it on his own.
We were just talking about that. Actually, that just reminded me. You know, you was talking. No, sorry, it was Carly was saying it about. It was Jewish immigrants who wrote him, and they wanted there's like a kick in the face to like the Nazis or whatever. When you think about, I was just wondering if there was another undercurrent, the fact that Captain America looks so Aryan. You know, it looks like the Aryan ideal, tall,
Aryan, yeah, he does.
Aryan, you know, blonde, you know.
But as Sleepy said, he was created by two immigrants worried about the right of the Nazis. So,
and I think it was. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, there's a lot
Superman.
of
Yeah, Carl mentioned Superman.
Yeah,
well,
principled.
Most principled. Yeah,
I think it's an interesting discussion because I think there's a number of candidates in there.
Yeah, I mean, Superman obviously would be another that I would agree with. You know, he in a way needs it the most because if he loses his sense of principle, he can destroy us all. Like you know, but there is actually a really great video where it's Mr. Terrific and Superman talking. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's like a cartoon, and Superman's like
the second Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like some cartoon. I just saw the clip, right? But Superman's like, you know, we should take away their guns. We should do these things like to stop violence and stop, you know, crime and all this kind of stuff. And so Mr. Terrific is like saying, well, okay, take away their guns. And he was, you know, seeing how far it would go because like how, you know, if you have that kind of ideology that, you know, if you know, trying to protect everybody, you can actually end up costing everybody's freedom.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting conversation. And I think in a way it kind of shows a flaw in Superman's thing that he's maybe he's too virtuous in a way where it can actually backfire and you know, it makes you go, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of thing, you know.
There's got to be shades of grey. You can't just be black and white with that kind of thing. Yeah. There's, you know, certain situations where things have to be, you know, twisted or whatever, or, you know, I don't know, not quite toeing the line, that kind of thing. But yeah. But, go on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure which, like, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, which principles do you agree with the most?
Well, see, that's a good. But you can make an argument for Swamp Thing. You know, if you're into environmentalism and the green, and,
if you really want to, you can make an argument for Punisher. He's got his own principles. You know, they're not our principles. Hopefully, yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, some could say he's even more principled because he's willing to go do things that others won't do. I don't know. I wouldn't go with that argument myself, but Marvel.
Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like based on your own principles, which one do you like the best?
Yeah,
true. Yeah. No, that's a good point about Marvel. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I think Batman's like, some people sort of think he's a bit authoritarian, don't they? Old Batman, because he's, you know, the way he is with people, but he has got his heart in the right place. He's got the Wayne Foundation, which is doing his best to help the poor and needy and all that. And, you know,
I thought the Wayne Foundation was a weapons manufacturer.
They do. No, there's an altruistic thing to it. Wayne Foundation. He's got Wayne Enterprises. Does all the. He's got loads of stuff, but Wayne Enterprises does all the. The Wayne Foundation is the charitable part of it, isn't it? I believe.
So he has a charitable arm, and he has the.
He's definitely got a lot of charitable part. I believe so. Yeah. Could be wrong. Yeah. That's what I seen. I don't know why it just jumped in my head. I think that's the truth. Saint Punisher.
I don't think it can be Batman. I wouldn't have Batman.
No, I wouldn't necessarily.
Because Batman is got too many internal problems. You know, he's fighting his internal demons.
And there was a whole. And I suppose also part of the principle thing was, like, when you think about Batman, quite often will say, "I've got two ways I could take that, or 5 ways I could take this guy out. I chose and he chooses the painful way, the most painful one." But you know, you've got to say that Superman is more principled because he would do his best to take people in without harming them at all.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have Batman in the list. I think he's you know, he's too many internal agonies.
Yeah,
to be worried about. You know, principles is in there in the list of things he worries about, but it's not.
I mean, he is the kind of the guy that does believe in, like, justice at the end of the day, though. You know, he doesn't kill.
No, it's true. He's very principled in that respect, isn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't even like to use guns. Apart from in that comic that you guys are doing a trade for. But Captain America
So
used
early
to use guns
comics,
during the war, didn't he?
in the early detective comics, he used guns all the time.
Yeah. I think Captain America used guns during the war as well.
Yep. Yeah.
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 There's that story where he's fighting Flag Smasher and he has to kill someone using a gun because he'd thrown his shield away already, and so he stopped him from killing hostages. He had to shoot them, and yeah. Who's your take for the most principled? Then, Mark, have you got one in mind?
Galactus.
Perhaps it's Girl 69 XYZ. They might be the most principled. They're just going about their business, sharing their private chat. Roger, can you take down your other account's comments, please, mate? We can't be having that on my channel. Stop using your other account to share all these.
Oh yeah, here we go. That doesn't mean you'll get another 40 viewers, though.
Yeah. No, I've blocked them now. As Carl come back in, I'll put the link in the chat. If anyone else wants to come in that I know, no strangers are going to flap their willies around, but anyone else
I'd have to put in where my British hat. I'm going to have to put in Judge Dredd.
As principled. under the law of his city, he's the most principled, isn't he? Really?
Yeah. Exactly. So this is back to Alan's comments about what principles he do.
Exactly. He is the law.
He is the law. I'm the law. It's very clear. There's no argument.
Yeah, I actually like that about Judge Dredd. Actually, Judge, like jury executioner.
Yeah, he's the ultimate fascist, isn't he? Really, that's what they say about him. But there have been some stories where he's kind of touched on that a bit more, haven't there? Not that Democracy. Was there a story called Democracy or America or something? They touched on that kind of thing, and he can have like principles that sometimes go against what the judges want, that kind of. But yeah, it depends who's writing him, I suppose, and what story they want to tell. But yeah,
so it's quite an interesting argument. I mean, I suppose Cap is pretty strong.
Yeah,
that's why I was thinking he would be the one I think. If you think principled, who would you think? Well, Cap would be the first one, I'd think.
Yeah, because he's meant to be that ideal, isn't he? So.
I mean, you could also make a case for maybe Professor X.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of like the more principle, like how Professor X is supposed to be like Martin Luther King, and
Magneto
is like Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you think about those two individuals, Martin Luther King would be on paper, not in reality, but on paper, Martin Luther King looks like the more principled person.
I've not heard that comparison before. That's quite interesting.
No, that was actually deliberate.
That's the basis of it.
Yeah, that was the basis of the two characters.
Right.
So one would be like, was it lawful, and the other would be chaotic lawful or something like that. I don't know. In D&D terms, how you'd.
Yeah, and sorry about that. Mid-sentence, I got cut off. I had all these notifications shut off. And I didn't shut off the ones to the phone, and the pharmacy called, and it switched off my mic and wouldn't let me switch my mic back on. And then the kids have been on some online stuff, and they crashed my online here while I was on. So everything hit at once, and it was not letting me back on, and I almost threw my brand new phone right out the house.
Okay.
So because I was on a perfectly calm train of thought, and then
did you finish that? What you were saying?
So. But hey, Journey, just in time. My whole concept of this, I started talking to him about it last night, and this has split my thing, so now my camera's in reverse now too. But I didn't. Shame on me for not dragging out Captain Britain or Captain Canuck and all those other ones where it's not just nationalistic, where I'm not saying hey, only America counts. No, what I'm saying is just ideology, because superheroes come from, the fairy tales and the folklore of old anyway. So nothing's a new story. They're just new people. Yeah.
I don't think, I don't know about Captain Canuck, but I don't think Captain Britain is really kind of like used as being like the epitome of like the British ideal, really, though. He is
the ultimate Briton, That's
Yeah, but
what gives him the power.
he's not nationalistic in particularly, is he? He's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's like
He's
played
never
as
been
that.
used, he's never been used as a symbol for the national
Yeah.
front. You know.
Yeah, not nearly as much as Captain America
Yeah.
as far as the nationalism goes.
Yeah.
But in their highest ideals, you know, Cap is the
Mm.
closest to Marvel's answer to Superman. And just the ideals of be good, and like Captain Britain is the consummate, you know, be good for Britain, the good Britain.
Well,
But that's the
I
only
think
comparison.
because he's only one of the only ones over here who've got superpowers. So like he's the only kind of pretty much one of the only heroes we have in the Marvel universe. So he kind of has to be the
Union Jack.
Yeah,
Union Jack.
but he's not.
Invaders.
He was World War II, wasn't he? I think there was a more recent version, wasn't he? But I don't know how
Well,
high profile he is in the Marvel universe.
Union Jack as a Marvel character really didn't come out till the 70s anyway, because they did a
Invaders
back thing. And now that I don't have a stand on this, hopefully this won't
He's
crash
got-
much noise. Me going
Union
back.
Jack's got a better costume than Captain Britain, but Captain Britain's first costume was the best costume that he had. The new costume. I hate his boots and his new costume. It looks like he's wearing galoshes. It's like his boots just look horrible. It's like he looks like he's going fishing.
I agree
fishing
with
or
Gray,
something.
yeah. It was the better, yeah.
Oh, it was awesome, man. That staff that he had as well, and the medallion. Awesome.
Yeah. But the ideological part of this, you know, the non-Trumpian kind of thing, where
Yeah, it's the ideal of the.
But there, I'm settled. I'm back in place, because I was getting so heartfelt and dug right into that about how this profoundly affected me as a teenager, trying to be good and, you know, anti-bullying and things like that, and how I carried that with me in my later years. Excuse me, I meant to hit mute for that one. But a couple of years out of high school, I literally tried to be Captain America.
Wow. It's Cap. It's Cap.
Even though Cap was in the army, you know.
Oh, hold on a
And
second.
again, this split my camera around and everything. I am so mad at my pharmacy and doctor right now. But yeah, that's me 35 years ago.
I bet you didn't have any trouble picking up the girls then, Kyle.
Yeah, you're a good-looking guy.
None whatsoever. I mean, I look like Sting in the face until I cut my hair and stuff.
It looks like he could cut paper with that jaw. It's so sharp.
Yeah, it used to be. Till I got busted with a baseball bat. Now it's crooked. But you know, that was me. This is me in my mid-20s. Again, ideologically just trying to be Captain America.
Well, which part of the world are you in?
That's in Asia right there. That's actually, we were on a live patrol.
You're too old for Vietnam. You're too young for Vietnam.
Too young for Vietnam. This is the late 80s. This is right before the Gulf War. And you see that body of water behind us? That's not a body of water. Now my camera flipped now. This is making me nuts. That's not a body of water. That's monsoon rain.
All right.
Just right in behind us. We're close to a body of water. But have you seen the movie Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
All right. So they shot Forrest Gump in a protected part of the Philippines, which we weren't too far from right here. But right outside of this, there's a base camp for Muslim fundamentalists that train there, and we'd have to do patrols out there. But right on the inside of the fence line, there's a training grounds and rope bridges you build to walk across. Now you'd have one section where it'd have a rope where you'd put it up under your arm and go across. Another one, there was actually a rope under the water so that your feet didn't sink in the mud, but you could walk across, and it's a training area. And the scene where when I was watching the behind the scenes to Forrest Gump and Tom Hanks was telling this story, I just fell out laughing my ass off, because the particular bridge that was up was built a couple of years before they filmed that movie. And I was in the crew that built that particular bridge. He's walking on a big, thick ship rope of hemp across that. And when they're walking around, and he goes, one day I'm just sitting there and it started raining. It was big rain and stinging rain. And when he comes to the part where he says, and sometimes it even rained up, and he's walking along the water and holding his hand up. He's walking on a bridge, me, this kid, and 26 other people built
Okay.
a couple years before. But now, granted, we're outside the fence line actually doing a patrol there. I'm armed to the teeth. Like, our hands are so white while our faces are painted up because we were wearing black gloves. So nothing to show up there. I've got grenades on me right there. I've got just loaded out with ammo. So it was a big scary thing. But this is me trying to save the world. That's the whole thing there. And there's a lot to that can be blamed on Captain America. Because I thought, well, yeah, CJ got me going on this yesterday and I didn't shut up. And I'm going to bust out some things that usually I had to go into the box over here. God, I hate my camera being reversed. This is making me nuts because that call came in and screwed this up. But
Well,
I had a big old fruit salad, which I was embarrassed by. I had 11 medals for a 4-year tour in the Marine Corps. That's obnoxious.
Yeah.
My uncle, who served 2 tours of Vietnam, got 6 medals, and 1 was a Purple Heart. You know, how in the hell did I get 11? It's embarrassing. It literally still embarrasses me to this day. I give away most of my medals. Most of my medals are actually buried with friends who have died since then so that they can have the family can keep their personal medals. Yet these guys are buried with full military honors.
I didn't even get an achievement badge in the Boy Scouts.
Oh, but and again, the concept of that again stems back to Cap and things like that. But one medal that I'm never going to let go of, right there, nice and simple.
Spanking medal.
It looks like it.
Says it all right there. It's let me see if I can get the
Humanitarian service.
So what did you do to deserve that, Kyle?
cleaned up bodies,
Oh, God.
wow.
cleaned up after natural disasters, tried to save people and cleaned up. I told a story. If you think my finger story is gross, you should hear the stuff I told on CJ's channel last night about human feet, which I will not tell here right now. But
Just send the pictures to Graham.
Send the pictures
No,
send the
don't
pictures.
send to me. I've got to eat my dinner in a minute.
people always ask me about if I have PTSD for being shot at, and I laugh because I have literally been shot at more in Indianapolis than I was in the military.
Oh, wow.
I've been shot at 4
Yeah.
times. I've been legitimately, they were shooting at me. I've been around being shot at.
Well, that's why you do that in all the schools. So you
4
got all
times
the,
in the
you know,
military, I was shot
you're
at.
used to it.
But I've had guns
Kyle,
stuck
look.
in my face. I've been robbed several times. I've been shot at for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You're not selling Indianapolis to us.
Yeah, it's
It's,
like
yeah, exactly.
it's a
Brought
big
to you
city.
by the
I mean,
tourism
if
board
you're,
of-
if you're out,
Yeah.
if you're out a lot and you're in a big city, things are bound to happen. Then I was a bodyguard and a bouncer, and drunk and tough guys have moments, and crazy Marines have moments. I had a crazy drunk Marine cock a 38 and stick it right between my eyes. I'm looking at a hollow point bullet out of the drum
Yep.
of a 38 right
This
in my
is why
face.
I'm glad I was born in this country.
But I don't make a big hullabaloo about my medals that I got in the military, nor will I ever make a big hullabaloo. But like I said, most of mine are buried, but I will keep this. And I actually got 2 of these, but I did give one of them away. But I got, when you get a
It does look like a spanking medal, though, I've got to say.
when
I
you,
like the
when you,
spanking
yeah,
medal.
when you get a multiple, when you get a star put on here, and I can have a star on this, but I'm not going to poke a hole in it because I'm not getting buried with military honors. My mom wants me buried in Arlington National Cemetery. I'm not doing it. The kids can do with me what they want, but save the money, cremate me, and throw me in the backyard. I don't care. But again, I'm not so proud of so many of the medals I got because it's a big deal. I did my job, whatever. Nothing was great. But I am proud of humanitarian service.
Yeah, that's great.
I am genuinely proud of humanitarian service. Now, I did my 4-year hitch and I got out. Now, within 6 months of being out, this is me 6 months out of the Marine Corps, sitting in the middle.
Hold on, let me put you on the big screen again.
Are you blocking that one or? Is that the-
See, I'm sitting in the middle, and this is my developmentally disabled group home guys.
Okay.
You know, I grew a beard, but I ran group homes. I got out of the military and I went into service. I went into human service, you know, where I say, no matter what I did, in the military, nothing was greater than, like, if these guys weren't dead, I wouldn't even show this. But like, there's a profoundly mentally retarded, they call it developmentally disabled, but there's a profoundly mentally retarded guy right there in his 50s. I taught that man to wipe his ass without shame by himself. If I did anything good in the world, I did that. I taught that kid some lessons, That guy told me some dirty jokes, but every guy in here is dead as far as I know. But this is my first group home, guys. And I ran group homes and independent living sites because, like, when I was a teenager, one of my best friends in Whiteland, Indiana, was a profoundly mentally retarded kid who had no friends, and he would sit at the park and cry. And I went over to him and I found out, and it's like Joey McMillan. Now, he died before I turned 18, and I've been traumatized for life over that. But I always tried to protect him. People would pick on him, and I'd be like, no, you don't. And I don't care if it was 5 bigger guys making fun. They wouldn't pick on him. I'd say, Joey, you go back over there, and if these guys beat my ass, they beat my ass, but they're not going to bother you anymore. And then I'd just get profound respect for that. And I'd also get the shit knocked out of me. And I'd keep coming back because it's like, you aren't going to bother that kid. And they quit bothering him. So I learned, and I learned so much of that from Captain America, and that's my Captain America complex. I'm trying to save the world, but I'm not
Kyle,
changing the world. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were you married then?
The reason I was married in the military and then recently divorced. I was divorced the whole time. I was in the social services when I got back with my wife.
Yeah.
I was married for a few years, but then I got knocked into disability because, sometimes those without all their faculties can go ragingly crazy and get psychotically strong. And one of them broke my neck.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'd go back and do it 100 out of 100 times because if he wouldn't have broke my neck, he would have broke the client in front of me's neck.
So where did your wonderful wife come from?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, fair enough.
There's a whole Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's a good place to get a wife.
There are, between high school and the Marine Corps, I had 3.5 years down. And while I was in a traveling local cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And that's where we met.
Was you Frankenfurter?
No, I was Rocky. This was.
You've still got the corset.
I ain't got a corset that can fit me now. But yeah, I had long flowing blonde hair on that face and that 160-pound muscular body. So no, I was Rocky.
That was the Meatloaf character, was it? Rocky? Was that the Meatloaf guy?
No, Meatloaf.
No, that was the main guy.
Rocky was the sexy blonde creation of Frank's.
Yeah, Rocky was the
right.
Oh,
Yeah. It's been a long time. Believe it or not, guys, I don't watch that every week. It's like it's been years. I think last time I saw it, actually, I think 1990. I think I saw it in a theater.
I can tell stories about that and meeting my wife and hitchhiking across the country. And the reason I went in the Marine Corps is because she broke my heart. And then I married somebody else. But I walked across, I threw my thumb out, hitchhiked almost 2,000 miles across the country, joined the Marines, went to get shot at and blow stuff up because all is fair in love and war is hell, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Woman broke my heart. So I thought, well, let's just go get shot at because that's just a stupid thing to do. But back to the whole Captain America complex and what I went from there. I'm just chomping at the bit to show off this next picture and these things, and I have got to flip this camera back around. So yeah, Rocky wears shiny shorts. So again, you're not going to see me pull out my other 11 medals or anything like that, but my humanitarian spanky button, that's good there.
How many people did spank to get that one?
Yeah, there you go. I can bring out the paddles too. But now I'm going to do something else. Now this hangs on my wall with pride. Those things stay hung up, or those things stay in a box. These things.
That Special Olympics
on
thing.
my wall.
Yeah.
This is the gold medal of Special Olympics. And I'm going to tell a story here, and I damn well might cry. So you Brits who don't get emotional. And ironically, I can tell you the date this happened. What was I doing November 12th, 1993? winning a gold medal at Special Olympics.
Wow.
What-
Kyle,
Okay.
what sport?
we've not heard this one before.
No, I've not heard this one before either. I think you did tell me you don't do Special Olympics. Which
Yeah.
one's you?
Now we'll get to that in a
With the
minute.
beard.
We'll get to that in a
I
minute.
think it's the one
So-
with the beard.
So this is a year and a half me being out of the Marine Corps, but I'm running these group homes and taking care of this stuff. And even though they tended not to want me to be a coach because it was a conflict of interest working for companies that the clients came from, but they couldn't keep me from it, you know. And I'm fresh out of the Marines, and they assigned me. You know, I'm not intimidated. And they assigned me what they called the convict squad, which were guys that were higher functioning MR. There's two levels of Special Olympics. There's unified, which is high functioning, where they have you intermingled, like half the team of whatever sport are actual volunteers, and then the other half are the high functioning guys.
Yeah.
Now, some jackasses would go in there and they'd put everything into it, and they'd try and smack somebody down hitting a ball or something. And I used to just fight with those jackasses all the time because I would play honest, I would play fair, but I wouldn't step into every pitch. I wouldn't be at the top of my game, but I also wouldn't just stand there and go, duh, throw it by me, you know, let me get it. You teach them equality.
Yeah.
So I did have to play down a little bit, but I didn't dumb it down where, you know,
Yeah.
I made him feel bad. And you had to learn that fine line. And I've had arguments. And at this particular Special Olympics volleyball tournament, which was at this university, this team I was assigned, and you almost wouldn't know it by looking at them. Now, mind you, I was a coach and player all year long. See, this is backwards now, and it's going to make me nuts. But at the tournament, one of the rules was they had to assign coaches. So they brought extra people up to just sit in a chair and be the coach. So they threw that girl in the coach, but I am the coach of this team. And as far as I'm concerned, I am the coach, even though I'm a player. But like players, unified volunteers didn't have numbers. So the guys with the numbers were actually the guys from the team. And all of my numbered guys here had all had arrest records and things like that. And they were all trouble. They were all trouble for people to deal with. And, you know, they'd have hostile tempers. And it took me a few months, and I built up a rapport with this team. And again, the whole Captain America complex thing. So bandana here is me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what a couple years difference is. So, but you know, I got out and I didn't want to always be clean shaven and whatever, grew my hair a little bit. But like the best story is this kid right here, right there, number 2. See that shit-eating grin on his face, or that halfway grin on his face? He was almost smiling. But I love to tell this story, and I'm thrilled I get to tell this story about Captain America about this. So I get this team, dog, please stop. I get this team, and for 2 months, we don't win a single game. You have to play 3 matches, and first 1 to 2 wins the match. We go 0-2 everything for 2 months. But for 2 months of never winning anything, we go into the state tournament on our unified level of team, never won anything. And finally, I'm breaking through to these guys. Now, this guy is a deaf mute with some brain issues. So I had to communicate with him with sign language and stuff. And this was the look on his face. When he was constipated, when he was happy, didn't matter. This was the look on his face. Always stoic. Just never got through to him. Years in institutions, things like that. You couldn't tell whether he was pissed, whether he was happy, anything like that. But I started communicating with him through sign language and stuff, and he started feeling better about things. And he was a little frustrated because we went into this tournament and hadn't won anything, and they thought, well, this is terrible. Well, we went into the tournament, and all the teams we were playing from all over the state were teams that had knocked the snot out of us before. Well, we went in this tournament, and we went undefeated. That's where this gold medal came from, right there. This, you talk about a proud thing. You know, November 12th was the game. The 13th is when we actually
Kyle, what changed?
Yeah,
What changed?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Cheated.
We became more cohesive. Their frustration levels went down because we were trying to figure out, you know, which levels we went into. Because like I was saying, there's 2 levels. The regular Special Olympics, we'd put out 6 guys out there. We wouldn't really keep a score. We'd just teach them how to hit the ball, you know, low functioning kind of grade school stuff. And with the higher functioning ones, we're trying to teach them inclusivity and things like that. And these guys short tempered and frustrated and things like that. And it's actually, I'm showing the wrong medal with this. My other gold medal up there is this team. But they're short tempered, and like you go to hit the ball, and if it wouldn't go over the net, they'd get mad and get frustrated, and then they'd not even be paying attention. Well, over the 2 months, they'd pay a little more attention. They were used to people yelling at them or, you know, being strict. And I'm being inclusive, going, hey, good job. Come on, next time, you know, we try to get it over there. Well, it all gelled at the right time. And we're on equal level with these guys. And there are coaches getting mad on the other side because they had trounced us before. And we were getting lucky. There was luck involved. But these guys were paying more attention. And one of the rules, like in volleyball, you get 3 hits to get it over to the other side. Now, one of the rules is, of those 3 hits, every other hit has to be a player, and it can't be 2 partners hitting it in a row. So if I'm a volunteer, I can't hit it to another volunteer to then hit it over. We have to hit it to an athlete, or the point's lost, you know. So it's
Okay, that's a bit awkward to
you
remember.
you can't really cheat that. You can't cheat it. So if they hit it first, and it tended to be, they figured out if they hit it first, then we could hit it over. And then they started learning to hit it over, and, you know, the inclusivity, and things come out. And this one coach in our second game, this one coach was just a real tyrant. And a lot of people would put up with him, and a lot of women would run these programs. And this guy thought, hey, you know, I'm just going to yell at people and I'm going to get my way. And, you know, if you go under the net, that's a foul. It costs points. They threaten you. And the lady who ran our program in the state had been telling me some of these guys she just wants to strangle. She didn't point them out, but they're yelling at these clients, which is abuse. But this guy thinks, oh, I'm somebody. I'm going to do this. And they'd put up with it for a while. And this is the early 90s when things are still doing deinstitutionalization. And this guy lit into one of his players who missed a shot. And I directly walked under the net, and I got like that. I got eye to eye with the guy, and I went, I will end you in front of all these people. I said, you're about to get bounced off this thing like a ball. You yell at one more person, you're carried out of here in a stretcher, and I'm not fucking around. He about peed his pants. He shut up. He didn't say anything. I went back onto my side. We got penalized a point, and they saw me do this. My team saw me do this to that guy, and they'd seen that guy, and they're used to that. They were used to that kind of abuse, and they weren't used to a guy like me who, you know, I'm roughly 6 foot tall, 175 pounds. I'm built like an MMA fighter. I was a fighter. I can handle myself. That guy knew when I got in his nose, I'm not opening my mouth again. If we come to this, we're coming to blows. I'll go to jail for this, and I don't care. I'm going to knock your teeth out and humiliate the shit out of you. And they saw that, and Mr. Stoic just started looking at me a little different. And my guys got even more cohesive. And the girl that he yelled at on the other side hugged me, you know? And again, I'm almost fighting back tears because, you know, these poor people, you know, and this guy, and I dressed him down. And at the end of that game, the lady who ran ours programs come up to me and hug me, and she goes, "I've been wanting to do that for years. I think you just shut that guy up forever." And they basically booted him out of things for that, because getting volunteers was hard, but you don't put up with that shit.
Yeah.
So we got more cohesive. Game 3 comes around. We win 2 sets, automatically win that. We're in the finals. And again, I may be on the court playing with these guys, but I'm the coach. I set up who goes where, and we're limited in how we do it. And we play a simple game. And as we wrap up, I'm in the back row. See, I'm backwards again. I'm in the back row. And this kid right here is right in front of me with that half constipated look on his face. I swear to God, I'm going to cry when I tell it. It's been 30 years, and I still got goosebumps when I tell this. No one has ever seen reaction out of this kid, like almost nothing. And the person over there serving, they put it over, and this kid hits it back and scores the winning point, and we win the gold medal.
He got a reaction from that, I'll take it.
This kid turned around, and I'm going to try and do the face. I mean, his eyeballs were this big. He was grinning. No one had seen this in a decade. And he ran up and hugged me in tears. And then everybody around started crying. I'm like, oh my God. You know, I smashed through this wall. You know, big deal. I got military medals. I got that with him. 30 years later, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Still chokes me up. But that I took my convict squad and we got it. And they did the medal ceremony, and I'm standing back because, you know, I'm the coach and I'm part player. Excuse me while I go wussy here. I got to clear this out. But I'm standing back, and they're like, get up here. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, well, they're going to present the trophy and things. And I'm like, no, you guys get the trophy. I'm standing over here. And they said, no, you get a medal and everything too. I said, you ain't putting a medal on me. I don't deserve that. They deserve it. Give them the medals. And they said, no, the coaches and the volunteers on the teams get medals too. You know, and I had medals in the Marine Corps pinned on me. You know, when you get promoted, these things are spiked. They're like this. I have permanent scars where they promoted me because they pin them into you. You know, they don't screw around with these medals. You know, you get awarded medals, they stick them in your skin.
What?
That's how they initiate you and stuff like that. You know, if you earn something, they pin you. So I'll tell you about that. I'll tell you about that another time too. But you know, I never made a big deal out of my military honors, and I never will. I'm proud of the humanitarian service medals that I got. I'm proud. You know, I earned my medals. I got shot at. Things happen. But this hangs on my wall. I'm never not going to be proud of this. I'm never not going to be proud to tell that story. You know, and again, he's dead. He died 15, 20 years ago.
Doesn't matter, Kyle. That was probably that guy's greatest moment in his life.
And it was at the moment. I don't know if it continued to be.
It was.
But it was at that moment, and I was a part of it. And I took zero credit for that happening. Zero. It was his reaching that. I was just standing there when he got there. Because that's the definition of you better be humble. I will not. That coach that I almost beat the shit out of, he was trying to take credit. It's like, no, you're there saying, come on to me, and when you get here, you'll be okay. And I'm right here behind you.
No. I'm gonna disagree, Kyle. One of the characteristics of great leaders is how they develop the people
under them.
Yeah. But
now,
see, I'm trying to have them beside.
You had everything to do with how that guy performed. Okay, what you described there was great leadership. Okay, you took somebody and you developed their potential and you gave them the confidence to perform. Okay.
Yeah, and he had that moment.
And during my career in industry, those were the greatest moments for me. You know, when I had somebody who worked for me and I develop them to maximize their potential, those are the most satisfying moments. And so that's you're underplaying your performance there. You definitely deserve the medal.
But I got that, and like I said, that's the Captain America complex or the superhero complex. But the good guy superhero, and I carried that through my life. And like I said, that was 30 years ago. And I'd still be doing that now if I physically could. But I am the guy, if I hear gunshots and like I'm out with my wife or something, it's get behind me. When I'm working with these musicians and the shit hits the fan, it's get behind me. Maybe I can't defend myself as much, but if a gun comes out, the bullet hits me before it hits anything else. Better the bullet hit me and you get away than that. That's why I won't stand in front of certain politicians. I even said it on CJ's show last night, I said it on shows before. I've met 6 U.S. presidents. I've actually bodyguarded the likes of Benjamin Netanyahu. But to 1 future president and 2 former presidents, I've told them to their face, I would never work for you because I wouldn't catch a fucking bullet for you. And I've told them to their face unapologetically, I won't catch a bullet for you. I don't bodyguard people for anything other than sheer friendship or to protect people. We're leaving the store earlier today, and my wife didn't even catch what I was trying to tell her. And again, I turned 56 this month. I have a herniated disc in my neck so bad my neck is considered broken. I'm recovering from 2 malignant types of cancer. I am a hobbling old fart. But the person in front of us in the checkout line was this woman in her 70s. And she was struggling to pay her bill and things with the things going on. And they were doing a price check. And she's a little on the senile side. And she got an envelope of cash with hundreds in it. And it looks like she's buying stuff for an old folks home. She doesn't have a chaperone or anything with her. And I see some rednecks going by her, looking her up and down. And I'm thinking they might have bad intentions to either, pull that envelope from her purse or, God forbid, even knock her down. And I'm trying to tell my wife as we go, I'm dragging my feet as we're walking out of the store, supposedly in a hurry to get to this. And I'm dragging my feet and I have to catch back up and tell her because I laid back. And it was not to be heroic for any glory on me. But again, Captain America complex, I was not leaving till I saw that elderly woman get into her car, close the door and drive off away from anybody who had bad intentions. Because if they'd have come up and did that, come hell or high water, I was going through them. And I'm a broke down old man, but I can still handle it enough to where even maybe the visage of me coming up with a clenched fist going, you touch that woman, you die. They get second thoughts. And it happened today. It happened a couple hours ago. I still have that where I'm an easy target now. You can knock me over in a strong wind. I'm so broke down. But I'll still walk right up to somebody, look them square in the face like this and go, I double dog damn dare you. That'll put the fear of God into them and scare them back. And that's my Captain America complex, not where I'm weak and hiding my things that I can do this all day. I don't do this all day. All right. We all right, Gray?
By the way, I got to head out, guys. So,
see, I went on too long again. I
No,
went
it's
on
okay,
with
it's
my tirades. But that's me getting from 13 to 56 and still to this day having that hero complex. It's not going to go away. So comic books had a big part of that again. So
see you, Alan.
Yeah, bye, guys. Great story, by the way, Kyle.
Alan, we'll catch up soon, Alan, because I got lots of books.
Reach out to me anytime. Okay.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry I went on a bit of a tirade again, but I knew I was gonna fuck.
That's your best story so far, Kyle.
I knew I was gonna cry. There's no not crying. There's 2 stories I got where I'm macho enough. If somebody said, "Oh, you big sissy, you cried," I'd be like, "Yeah, eat me." Tell me that to my face, I'll smack you back. But I've got 2 stories that I can tell that I never not cry at, and that's one of it. Well, 3, because I tell the story of looking for Joey McMillan. But I'm not going to get into that one. But the other one,
all the time. So that was a great. That was my favorite story. I love that story. It's a story about enabling. It's that story about enabling other people to maximize their potential.
Yeah. And it's a thing of beauty, and it's
Right.
indescribable. I can never describe it. I can't emulate the face that kid had, and the shock on the faces of people around me who were like, "We've known him a decade, never seen that."
I have to
You
tell you,
can't tell if he's constipated unless he signs it to you.
let me tell you a story, which is it's not as great as just, but it's quite funny. So I used to work for the Mars Corporation. Okay. So John and Forrest Mars at the time were about the third richest people in the world. Okay. They owned the Mars Corporation. And I worked for them producing pet food in a place called Melton Mowbray in the UK. And John and Forrest, what they used to do, they had a small office in the States. They had about 60 factories worldwide, and they used to visit every one every year. Okay, and they used to arrive and they used to come and visit. So I was sort of what was called facilities manager at the place. Big site, 50 acres, big, huge place, producing 3 million cans of pet food a day. Huge. Yeah. We had a house which we owned. And when John and Forrest came, instead of staying at a hotel, they would stay at this house. And I had this guy who worked for me. So when you worked for Mars, everybody wore a uniform. So it didn't matter who you wore a set of overalls. Didn't matter who you were, most senior guy in the business, most junior guy in the business, you wore a set of white overalls. So you had a locker, you went in the morning and you put your overalls on. Okay. I had your name on it. And I had a guy working for me. So I was responsible for this as part of the facilities. And he was, in England, we call them educationally subnormal. So his IQ was quite low. Okay. But he was a fantastic guy. It's called Michael Cook. And he always had a smile on his face. It was brilliant, you know. And he used to take the used overalls and put them in the laundry, and he used to take the clean ones and put them back there as well. But also we got him. Also, he did the cleaning at this house that John and Forrest stayed at. Anyway, so these are the third richest people in the world. Anyway, so John comes across for a visit. And he comes across and he visits the factory and he leaves. And then the day John leaves, Michael comes to me and he goes, "Oh, I've sorted them out." I said, "Michael, what do you mean you've sorted them out?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've sorted them two out. You know, that John and Forrest." So I said, "Michael, what have you done?" And he said, "Whenever they come," he said, "they always play about with the thermostat." I said, "What do you mean, Michael?" He said, "Well, there's a thermostat in the house where they can control the temperature, and they're always moving it. They're always putting it up or putting it down, and it annoys me." So I said, "What have you done?" He said, "I've disconnected it." So when they turn it up, it does nothing. When it turns it down, it does nothing. And I went, "Oh my God."
Utter brilliance.
Third richest people in the world. I've got this guy, he's probably got an IQ of about 50, lovely guy, and he's disconnected the thermostat. So when the third richest guy in the world wants more heat, he doesn't get it.
Oh dear.
Brilliant. I said to him, "Oh, Michael," he said, No, they never know. They just keep turning the question. They haven't got a clue.
I thought he was going to say that he forced him to put overalls on for a second. Where are you wearing your overalls?
If you ever want to hear stories akin to that, along that vein, I have thousands. I literally have thousands. I have more than 10,000 hours experience in the field, and they all have individual stories. You know, group homes had 8. I can bend your ear for hours if you want to hear those beautiful stories of moments.
I definitely
Moments they
Not
outsmarted
tonight.
the smarter people.
not tonight.
Yeah, not
We've
tonight.
been going for nearly 3 hours.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock, and I've just put my dinner in the microwave. So I thought we should call it a night now.
So, but yeah, again, sorry I went on my diatribe and my doctor called and screwed my phone up and flipped me in reverse for a while. But
Yeah, we'll have to get Alan back to show a few more comics next time.
you
You
know,
never tried to show that many comics, did he?
Alan's gonna get a few of my comics now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, you're in good contact with him. He's got a lot of money. So,
well, but I'd rather not have money. I'd rather have books. But if it's money, it's money. You know, whatever. So
Yeah,
my
you get your money
collection's
out. Yeah,
gonna stay.
He doesn't
full.
like to part of his books, Alan. I remember saying in one of his contests once, he doesn't like to part
he
of his
won't.
books.
He won't trade unless he's got duplicates. He won't trade. But just
Well, and again, I'm all about duplicates and lower grades or whatever. You know, give me 80% cash and 20% trade if that's the case in a duplicate.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not a
so,
snob. I'm not a grade snob or anything like that. But one of these days on mine, maybe when I do the X-Men one, maybe I'll tell the other story that makes me cry every time I tell it over 30 years later. What happened when the Berlin Wall came down?
oh well, that's a great story. Hold on to it.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed your story tonight. That was my favourite story.
Marines. When the
And
Berlin
you're
Wall
getting better at telling the stories.
Well, I mean, it was there, it happened, but I mean, just imagine, you know, I was small. I was a small guy in the Marines. And like I said, I was 160, 170. I could like deadlift 800 pounds for fuck's sake. I was a walking muscle. And I was small because like one of my buddies, 6'4", 220 pounds, just a blockhead, just a muscle of a man. And I can give the prelude to the story, but like, in the Marines, if you're crying, you better be half blown apart. You better be in pieces, or your mom better died, because we're all mama's boys. If you're crying over a girl, you will get the shit beat out of you. I mean, relentlessly. They will leave bruises on your face. You know, it's just unapologetically. And this kid was having trouble with his mom's health, and he was walking Firewatch.
Kyle, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to go because we've had 4 hours, and
it's 11 o'clock, mate.
And
oh, I was wrapping up right there. That was me letting you know when this story comes, it involves this blockhead and how tough Marines weren't that tough when the world changed.
No,
it was a genuine story. So thanks for letting me ramble on again, guys. Well,
all right.
So,
yeah.
God forbid. If people in the chat, you want to hear these stories,
yeah,
I'll end up doing my
Make
live.
sure when we get our special guests on, you let them get a word in edgeways, mate.
That's why I sit back. Did I tell you what Hillary told me?
Tell the show. Next week, we've got not only Tom Mandrake.
No, he's the week after.
Mandrake's the week after. But
it's JM this week, and then next week after it's Tom Mandrake.
That's Hillary's first thing to me was, man, you were quiet for that. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I wanted to sit back and let other people talk. I'm capable of doing it, but you pull my string and shit, I don't shut up. But yeah, with
nine girls XYZ talk.
Girl. But yeah, in hour 2, which again, now back in the States, because we're an hour ahead, even though I'm jet lagged and thinking behind. Here in the States, we go on daylight savings time on the 6th. So in 4 days, we're going to be back to normal with you guys. Okay. So we went on from 4 to 6 today, or 4 to 7 today. Now, next week, we're not coming on, or we're coming on at 3 o'clock. And from 3 to 4, stateside people listening, or for like Hillary, he's an hour behind. So we're going to be on from 3 to 5 here, where he's going to be on from 2 to 4, and you guys are going to be on from 8 to 10.
Okay. So what I would say to people who've not watched this and think, oh my God, there's 3 hours of this, there's actually some really good bits.
Yeah. And this was a great show. As far as I'm concerned, this was great. Beginning, middle, and until I started talking too much.
Skim through, look at the bit about which superhero is the most principled, because I think that was a really good discussion.
Yeah.
Also look for Kyle's story about the Special Olympics, because that is great. But pick and choose. There's some not so good bits.
No, it's all brilliant. What's
There's some not good bits where we talk about Gray getting pictures of
Kyle's bladder.
Kyle's backside.
His bladder, I think.
But next week, I got in touch with JMD Mateus, my personal favorite comic book writer. And again, he's humble, and he's like, you can't just lavish me with praise like Hillary did. But Hillary is my closest friend who's in the industry, and I love the guy and I love his work. But my favorite writers are Peter David and JMD Mateus.
Right.
So if I picked a number one, it was DeMatteis.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to end it while you still carry on chatting.
He's on next week on the second half of the show. He's on.
Yeah.
And then next week later, Tom Mandrake is on.
Yeah.
Second half of the show.
Switch it off.
Cheerio, everybody.
So, cheerio.